Just start talking about the Knicks. Get it over with. I know you've been waiting.
Listen.
We talked about on the stream for a little bit last night, but we had to refrain. Talk about your Knicks.
Vegas has already made the Knicks the second favorite to win the title. In my eyes, they're the first. I don't care about Boston. I don't care what they just did. We got Mikal Bridges. Not only do we have great basketball players, not only do we have an all-NBA point guard, we have the power of friendship, which we've seen has elevated the Miami Heat to 2 finals appearances. If we can just get there and then the actual talent kicks in, that is what you need for an NBA championship. That is what the New York Knicks have right now. And there's still a small possibility that Isaiah Hartenstein can be re-signed. We're going to pay a lot of money, but guess what? James Dolan has a lot of money. And he, for all the things that he is, he's not cheap. So shout out Leon Rose, shout out Jalen Brunson, shout out Mikal Bridges, shout out OG Anunoby for re-signing, Dante DiVincenzo, amazing contract, Josh Hart.
Yeah, thanks.
Listen, do everything that you need to do. I will see you guys in October.
Did you know that?
October?
That's when the season starts.
Oh, okay. I thought you said like June. I was like, all right, my bad.
Did you know that Dalton Connect is a Laker?
Why is he still going with this? Why is he still going with this?
Oh my gosh.
As you guys see, we are in person here from the same studio we shot last night's draft stream on. So if you guys didn't see that, we did a stream for the entire first round of the draft. It was hilarious. Mo went viral for being in despair because the Hawks passed up on Alex Sarr. Yeah, man, back in person.
Yeah, let's get to it.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, do us a favor, drop a like and subscribe, audio platforms, leave 5-star ratings, all of that. And yeah, man, we're going to talk about the New York Knicks. Sadly, something good happened in Donovan's life. We have to discuss it as much as we don't want to. And then, as you see by the title, we're going to go through every single NBA team. And we're going to talk about one problem and one weakness they need to fix in free agency. Could be a trade, could be a signing, whatever it may be. We're going to give every single team at least 30 seconds to shine.
30 seconds?
At least. There's some teams out there that I'm going to be pushing it, but I'll get to 30.
You don't want to talk about the Utah Jazz?
I actually want to talk about Utah Jazz.
We can talk about them.
Listen, Charlotte Hornets, I don't feel so great about them.
The cranium is crazy! Oh my god!
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters rejoice!
Yeah, man, let's get straight into it. Mikal Bridges is a member of the Knicks. Like you said, power of friendship won out. The Villanova boys are one deeper, one more Nova boy. How do you feel?
So
I don't care how he feels. How do you
when
feel?
this trade broke, me and you were walking to go get pizza.
We were.
And when it happened, you told me you got the Sam's notification, and it was for what, 4 first-round picks and a pick swap, I believe?
Yeah, the swap.
Ridiculous trade. And I'm so happy that this happened for the Knicks, of course. Not you, but the Knicks.
Don't forget.
Exactly.
For you.
yeah. It's still static for sure for you. But
In case you forgot.
I will say, like,
I try to be nice. I try to rep Atlanta today. I try to wear the Braves hat.
don't care.
Nah, rest in peace.
Doesn't move me at all. But genuinely speaking, I'm happy that this trade happened because now look at the way the Western or the Eastern Conference is heading right now. The team with the most stacked wings possible went ahead and did it, and the New York Knicks went ahead and did the same thing. Now they have insane depth with OG, Mikal, Dante DiVincenzo, and we're at this point to where we're talking about Josh Hart being like the 7th guy
That's
off
nuts.
the bench.
That's crazy.
Josh Hart would start on a lot of teams in the NBA today right now. So that's crazy. I'm happy for him, and this makes them easily right now like probably the second best team in the Eastern Conference, depending on what the Milwaukee Bucks decide to
There's
do.
no probably about it. They have to be second best. Everyone says it on Twitter. The joke is they got a role player super team. That shit is true. It's not a joke. They have one star player who, listen, people have very lofty expectations for Jalen Brunson now after last playoffs. People were like, is this a top 8 player in the world? Yada, yada. He can be the number 1 on the championship team. I don't know if that's really true. But either way, they have one legit guy and then 65 really good above average players. The fact that you have like 4 players as good as OG Anunoby is a ridiculous luxury to have. I find it very, very unlikely that the Bucks are able to make any move of any sort that makes them a better team than the Knicks.
It's not gonna happen. They don't have any flexibility, and at least with the Knicks, like they don't really have any flexibility because they gave all of it up to go get Mikal Bridges, and so, you know, depending on what happens over the next couple of years, like we'll see how this affects the Knicks in 4 years, but that doesn't matter right now because the oldest person in this core is Julius Randle. Like none of the guys are 30 yet, right?
crazy.
OG, Jalen, Mikal, they're all like 26, 27, 28 years old. And so you have another 2 to 3 years before really everybody has to get paid. Brunson is about to get an extension, and if he signs it this year, it's going to be, I think we did the math yesterday. It's going to be like $13 million less per year than what he could get if he waited until next offseason to sign it. So he potentially is going to be on a discount contract. Dante is already on one of the best contracts in the league. Deuce McBride is already on one of the best contracts in the league. And Mikal Bridges is getting paid like 20
hilarious.
million.
This video of Tom Thibodeau on Lil Yachty's walkout at Summer Jam is amazing. That tweet's perfect. It says, imagine being able to put Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby on your team's best wings. That is a ridiculous duo. I know Mikal Bridges has like a weird sentiment around him because last year he was kind of elevated to being a star and was not good at it. But that shit don't matter anymore because he's going back to being the best role player in the league. He's going back to standing on that wing, putting those hands up, waiting for his three, locking on defense, back in his perfect role. Him and OG might be the two best, not best wing defenders, because there's a Herb Jones in the world. There's other guys that maybe are better at that.
In terms of duos.
And in terms of people that are actually good at offense and actually like capable on both sides of the ball, two of the best two-way wing role players in the league.
Yeah, like the Celtics have the best defensive backcourt, right? Like you have Drew Holiday and Derek White. Obviously, like you said, OG and Mikal aren't the like 1 and 2 guys the way that Derek and Drew are. But it sure feels like you have that kind of combination at the wing position. And when you're playing a team like the Boston Celtics, who are the cream of the crop, right? They're the champions, they're the favorites, all of that. You have Jason Tatum, you have Jaylen Brown, you have this incredibly versatile team that can beat you at all 5 positions. You need versatile defenders, and that's what the Knicks have now. And it lines them up to be the biggest threat to the Celtics going into next season. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, man.
Yeah, so I'm more interested in the Nets.
Yeah.
This team is a
That
team.
actually is true though. Like they are interesting though.
Yeah, I said it in a way because like screw the Knicks, but the Nets 4 days ago were hilarious. We were like, the fuck is Sean Marks cooking? They think, remember all the past trade deadline, everyone was like trade Bridges, rebuild, and they didn't do it because they didn't have their own picks, yada yada. Well, they got their picks back, and then in the time they did that, we said they're insane for thinking Mikal Bridges is worth the star haul that they were claiming they wanted to get for him last year. They turned down plenty of offers that were 3 picks, great young players, a plethora of fantastic offers for a role player. We thought he was drunk for thinking that Mikal Bridges was Kevin Durant. Apparently he is. He got this ridiculous haul, and overnight they went from a laughingstock, why aren't they rebuilding, to, oh my God, is this the most stacked tanking team for next year? Like, they have a great future now.
Now, when you say most stacked taking team, you mean that as in terms of just like picks, because through this trade, technically speaking, they
have the worst players. They're gonna tank.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. But through this Mikal Bridges trade now, technically speaking, all this stemmed from Kevin Durant, and because of the Kevin Durant trade and also this happening, they have now 9-10 picks that stem from that obviously colossal fail that happened just last year.
Yeah.
And they went from being quite literally like the team that is put in the worst position because you have no picks and you are stuck in a position to where you have a very, very mid team, which is a bunch of dudes with redundancies all over the place. And now they still have even pieces from that KD trade because Cam Johnson's still there. Obviously, like, he is rare. It feels like he's rarely on the court, probably on the court half the time. And Dorian Finney-Smith Jr. is there as well. So this is probably not even it. And they're going to make even more moves. And, they just got put back on the map. You said they got their picks back. They got 2025 and 2026, I believe. They're just in time for the Cooper Flag era.
Exactly. And you name those 2 guys, that's probably 3 more first-round picks over there. 2 for Cam Johnson, 1 for Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah.
They're stacking it up. And we're seeing that the modern NBA is an arms race for picks. Everyone talks about the value of draft picks and how you have like the OKC Thunder, who you can't draft all these guys. What are you going to do? The Knicks were the same way. They just traded fucking 5 of them for Mikal Bridges. The way the NBA works now, draft picks aren't just draft picks. They're not just young rookies that are coming on your team. It's a currency. It's essentially you're like buying stock and being able to make trades at a later date. Like we saw the Spurs, who we'll talk about later, trade for a 2031 pick. It's so they have that in their cupboard of picks for the next 7 years. You can constantly trade it and move it around as many times as you want.
Yeah.
The Nets are perfectly suited to do that. Not only can they tank and pick a Cooper Flag, an Ace Bailey, whoever they get, But once they have 3 years of picks or whatever it may be, and they're ready to get that next guy that's disgruntled, they'll have a bunch of picks ready to go give them.
Yeah, I think all the smarter teams in the league, like the Boston Celtics, in the past, realize that they should treat draft picks as an asset, as a stock, or like a house or whatever it is. So you can either do like 2 things. You could like keep it and draft the Jason Tatums in whatever other world.
Yeah.
Or wheel and deal and trade for that big time star the second that they're available. I think we just witnessed the OKCs and Boston Celtics of the world just way ahead of their time, and all these other teams are just starting to catch up.
Man, Cam Thomas, he's on my fantasy team. And in our fantasy basketball league, you can keep 2 players in your previous roster to the next year. I'm keeping the shit out of Cam Thomas. Because this man is going to be a tank commander, averaging 28 points per game on the worst efficiency you've ever seen. But those points are being scored, and it's going to be glorious for someone like me that has stock in that.
Not gonna lie, I hope this team or this trade gets rescinded. Because there's no way in hell that there was no tampering going on. Evidence is right there on social media. It's on Instagram. They made memes out of it. This is not fair.
People are friends. Like, what do you want us? What do you want us?
But this is not allowed.
Players are allowed to tamper all they want. Teams can't. And if I'm a player and my best friends are all coming together,
I'm hitting you up every day.
I'm tampering the shit out of that guy.
Not in
every day.
Bro, not in David Stern's NBA, bro. I can't believe what's going on these days. This is nasty.
And this is, bro, this is the easiest. This is the easiest way to tamper because again, Mikal doesn't have to move, right?
Relax.
He can keep everything in his life the same. It like sometimes if you're talking to other NBA players, it's like, yo, like.
Sorry.
Why would you tell you out like
Why would you do that?
Sorry, I just like that. It's
does
one of the best. It's one of the best celebrations
again?
in the NBA.
Can you do it one more time? Oh, double hands now.
He's crazy. He's crazy.
How you gonna one up that, dude?
Okay, relax.
Every time it gets crazier.
No, man, but it's up. It's over. It's over. Like we should be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference next year. I'm very excited to see how everything navigates. I'm excited also to see Julius Randle fit back into this because everybody we've been talking about the Knicks for so long because Julius Randle's been hurt since January.
Yeah.
So the context in which we talked about him is like, you have Jalen Brunson, you have everybody else, and you obviously have the Nova guys. But something that you saw so clearly in the playoffs was, man, like the Knicks need another guy, and it's like they had somebody who is a former All-NBA player, could average 24 and 9, and they're still on the roster. And now when you include that and include Mikal Bridges, the ceiling for the Knicks is a championship. Like I don't think that it is too lofty to think that if everything clicks next season, that they could win the title.
It's not.
What was that?
Nothing. Just go.
My bad. I was thinking about the fact that
just
Dalton Connect is a Laker.
Keep
It's
hating.
fine.
Disgusting, man.
You love these accountants, man. What's the next topic?
I think next we should move to the title of the episode. Let's start going through every single NBA team and talking about
Who's
each
on
of
the
their
list?
biggest weaknesses, their biggest hole they need to fill this offseason, however that may be. How we're going to do it is we're going to go division by division. Each of us has 10 teams, so we're all going to have teams within these divisions. Let's start with the glitz and glamour. Let's start with the Pacific Division. And first and foremost, the Golden State Warriors. Who has the Golden State Warriors?
I have them.
What is the Golden State Warriors' biggest weakness?
The
And how do
Golden
they fix
State
it?
Warriors. I just wrote there talent because they need it, bro.
That's
obviously
thorough job doing.
Yeah. Obviously, first and foremost, they need to figure out what they want to do.
I need to change my analysis. Real quick.
What they need to do.
Might be another team I have like that.
No, me too. Some of these guys just suck. It's fine.
So obviously, as of late, they've been in a ton of rumors involving Paul George and them moving off of also Aaron Wiggins. They've been apparently shopping him heavy, which I think is
Andrew.
Yeah, my bad, Andrew Wiggins, which is accurate is what they should be doing because I think at this point in time, everyone knows that they went ahead and failed the double timeline experiment. Only maybe one team in NBA history was able to do so. And now they should be buying all in and forfeit whatever assets, whether it be Kuminga's great. I don't know how they feel about him still to this day, but Andrew Wiggins, he has to go. Klay Thompson, if he has to be sacrificed, let it be so. And I genuinely think that, I said sacrifice, he's going to die.
Kill him at the altar?
Yeah. But no, a Paul George genuinely would revitalize this team. Yeah. And that should be the 110% move if
I agree.
they're going to go ahead and do so.
I'm very, as NBA fans, the media, everyone's just star trade. They just need it. And normally I'm like, relax, teams have to build the right way. You got to have a proper infrastructure around your stars you already have, yada, yada. That all goes out the window when we're talking about the Golden State Warriors. I've never seen a team that so desperately needs specifically a star in my life.
Yeah.
They have all these interesting young guys. You said they failed the 2 timeline experiment. The biggest reason they failed that is because Klay Thompson is no longer a top-tier player, and obviously Andrew Wiggins forgot to play basketball. But they have the young guys, like Podziemski, really good. Trace Jackson-Davis, really good. Kuminga Moody can be contributing players. It's just they can be contributing next to Steph plus star 2, and they just don't have star 2 right now. And yeah, maybe it's Paul George they got to do, but they have to get some heavy hitter in there because no amount of small moves on the bench or just linear things around the edges is going to make them become a great team. They need serious power.
Yeah, you guys are saying talent. I'd look at this as like more vibes for them because the last 2 years, post Draymond punch, the entire vibe of the Golden State Warriors, team has just been off.
Davion Mitchell got traded to the Raptors.
Yeah, so there's a lot. We started recording this about the time the second round is starting, so tons of small irrelevant moves are happening. We'll let you guys know if anything big happens.
I kind of like that. That's solid.
Davion is Davion, whatever.
Don't disrespect. Don't disrespect.
Davion, I didn't say he's trash. He's Davion.
Don't disrespect. I know what you're doing.
The man is Davion.
I play. But yeah, no, like since the pull punch, it just seems like everything has been a massive struggle for the Warriors. They've built this whole thing on like this free flowing, very fun style of basketball, and it hasn't felt like that. It's felt like Steph Curry has been fighting this uphill battle by himself, and whether that's because Jordan Poole wants to act like he, is the second coming of Steph Curry, or Andrew Wiggins wants to, revert to bust version of Andrew Wiggins, it's very hard. So I would like to see them go get Paul George because obviously that would make Steph's job a lot easier. But even if that doesn't happen, take a group therapy trip, do whatever, go to Topgolf, just get everybody to like each other. Because also with the Klay Thompson aspect of it, that's also been a storyline for them to follow, where this is a guy that's been a part of your franchise, has won titles, has done all this thing, and you don't know if you're going to pay him, you don't know if you're going to bring him back, and that kind of transition has also
He's out of there.
Kept everything down.
I
think so as well. I think he's gone.
More specifically, I said they need a star. They really need advantage creation on this roster.
Yes.
Their big men are fine, I think. Draymond, Looney, Trace. It's not the strongest unit in the world, but Draymond can cover up a lot. That's a completely fine group. Obviously, we know Steph Curry at the point guard position. Podziemski's a combo guard. They have a little bit there. But on the wings, they need someone that can create an advantage with physicality, athleticism, burst to get to the rim and start rotations. They're so lacking in that. Kuminga's gotten better at that, but he's not a playmaker at all. He's a downhill one-on-one scorer, which is cool. But someone like Paul George can not only score off ball off of Steph Curry gravity, can create for themselves in a pick and roll, can finish plays, create plays, do that versatility there. They need some more of that specifically.
Yeah.
Because Chris Paul didn't give him shit when we thought maybe he would give them playmaking needed. They need someone that can do what Chris Paul was supposed to do.
Yeah, and if it's not going to be someone like Paul George, then shit out of luck. And the next best option is figuring out a way to do a sign and trade if Klay Thompson would agree to do something like that for Brandon Ingram in New Orleans.
That'd be cool. But the reality here is Golden State fans, get ready to speak to DeMar DeRozan. It's coming.
Ooh, that's a steep decline, man. Oh my goodness. It'll be better, obviously, than what they have right now.
I don't think it would be. That'd be a terrible fit. We'll see where DeMar goes. We have a lot of teams to talk about. We can keep moving.
Yeah.
Let's move to a quick one. The Kings. Who has the Kings?
I believe I have the Sacramento Kings as well.
All right. What is the Kings' biggest weakness?
Just yesterday, we witnessed them go ahead and draft Devin Carter, which I'm just going to go ahead and spoil the news right now. We think that was a great draft selection, and they fixed a lot. But for this team right here, they were known to be a super powerful offense just 2 years ago. That's what put them over the top over everyone else in the NBA, and that was really their niche. Since then, they regressed because of a multitude of things, and now they're back at a point to where, they re-signed Malik Monk, got Devin Carter now, and they are looking to, revitalize that. So if I'm the Sacramento Kings, you need more firepower in order to, find your place in the NBA again and be one of the higher seeded Western Conference teams. I don't know if that's actually possible, but if they want to maximize on their potential, they don't have much money. All right.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to do things around the edge. So I guess Royce O'Neal might be there because he can also shore up your defense as well, which improved. But that's the best move that I got for them.
Yeah, they need wing size. Harrison Barnes is Harrison Barnes in the same way that Davion Mitchell is Davion Mitchell. He gives them what he gives them. I follow some Kings fans. Shout out Possible Chairs on TikTok. Thinks Harrison Barnes is the worst starter in the NBA. And there's some shitty starters out there, so I won't say that. But he's not far from the bottom of that list. And listen, Keegan Murray is great. He's going to continue to develop. But even if we can assume Kevin Huerter is no longer a priority because we have Devin Carter and Malik Monk paid, they need someone to replace that Harrison Barnes spot, and they need some real athleticism there. They've been linked to Kyle Kuzma for a long time. That's a perfect move to me.
I like that. If it's not Kyle Kuzma, I've been saying this since the rumors came out. Zach LaVine would get you right back up there where you want to be offensively because, of course, he's one of the better shooters in the NBA and just known to be an explosive scorer heading down towards the rim.
I think it's impossible to have a good defense with Zach LaVine and Sabonis on the court at the same time.
They screw defense, bro. That's what they did 2 years ago, and they found so much success.
So much success for the first round exit.
Hey, we're talking about the Sacramento Kings.
You're right. My bad.
This is an NBA Finals.
King stacks.
But if they go out and make a move like that and you get Zach LaVine or whatever move that you make and you lean into offense, you are taking a step back because the whole thing is like, we can't play defense now, so we're gonna win games by being a track team running up and down. But next year, the year after, we'll be able to be a more complete basketball team, be able to play defense. And if you go out and get an aging, injury-prone two guard who does not defend to be one of like the key pieces of your team, now I'm looking at you and I can tell you are not serious about actually building a championship team. Because Zach LaVine,
but not everyone has to be serious about being a championship team. Everyone has to be real about their potential. And I'm not gonna sit over here and say can you win a championship with Domantas Sabonis as the guy?
They wouldn't get to the second round with Zach LaVine on the roster.
They could.
All right, we don't gotta discuss the Kings' long-term
wouldn't
standings.
do
We know what the Kings are. We gotta
wouldn't
keep moving. The Clippers. Who has the Clippers?
That is me. That's me. I think they have. It's not even a problem, but it's more of like an item on the checklist. They need to maintain Paul George because if they don't, that's where the problems come.
Yeah.
Because you already know what James Harden is going to be in the playoffs. You've seen him kind of take a step back. Kawhi Leonard, his injury stuff is also there. If Paul George is not there, the future is so bleak, right? For the Clippers,
They fall apart fast.
They don't have a lot of creation, movement. One of the guys that's going to go in and do the dirty work, right? And Paul George has been kind of cast in that role where you have the big three trading for James Harden. You gave up a lot of assets. You already had assets out the door to get Kawhi and Paul George. You have limited flexibility. Your payroll is going to be very high. You are not developing a lot of young players. You don't have a good stall of young players like that. You're moving into the new arena. This is probably the best opportunity that you have to have a high-level competent team.
Fun fact.
Please.
The Los Angeles Clippers have the most toilets in the entire NBA.
That is true.
Real shitters.
And people are going to want to spend more time in the bathroom than actually watching this team if Paul George is not there. And so they need to make sure that he's on this team, that he's on the roster next year.
It's real simple. They have no path to replacing him and getting another star. If you're left with just Kawhi, who at this point we don't know if he's going to have a healthy playoff run ever again, and James Harden, who is still a useful player, but extremely diminished, you have no ceiling at all without Paul George there.
Exactly. So
I agree.
sign PG, and then we could talk. But
Who has the Phoenix Suns?
that is also me.
Okay, what is the Phoenix Suns' biggest weakness?
The Phoenix Suns need playmaking and they need interior defense. One of the key things for them is obviously we talked all last year. They don't have a point guard, and while Devin Booker can play point guard and he can do it at a pretty good level, that defeats the purpose of having Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Right? You do not want to miscast Devin Booker, and with Kevin Durant being older, you want to make sure that Kevin Durant can get the ball exactly where he wants it. Devin Booker can score exactly where he wants it. And they don't have to be the primary creators for other people and the primary creators for themselves. You obviously don't want Bradley Beal playing point guard either. You need somebody who can set the table for them and do that. And then also you need interior defense because Nurkic, he's not the guy. He's not the future. And you need to be able to have your 1 and your 5 locked up. You have 2 through 4. That's okay, right? We can fill out the wings with guys like Royce O'Neal, Eric Gordon. He declined his player option. We'll see if he's gone, because if he's gone as well, you need more bench scoring also. But I would say playmaking and interior defense are the two biggest needs for them.
Yeah, the biggest need is to just hope Mike Budenholzer can fix this team and has something up his fucking sleeve.
Yeah.
Because they have no flexibility to do anything. Bradley Beal, you are a Phoenix Sun for another year. Kevin Durant, you are a Phoenix Sun until they decide to trade you to the next team in your long history of Celtic Shaq era playing for a million teams. Which, he's still great, but he's not Celtic Shaq.
Yeah.
He's Phoenix Shaq.
These jerseys are racking up. Pretty soon it's going to look
He's
crazy.
Phoenix Shaq. That's where he's at.
Yeah.
That's
So,
so sad.
again, it all just comes down to can Mike Budenholzer change things? Because they're going to make some moves. They'll make some small adjustments to their bench. They have zero flexibility to do anything of substance.
Now, they did take a step forward with drafting Ryan Dunn last night.
They did.
Yeah, one of the best defenders, probably the best defender in this class.
Good fit, too, with
day
Kevin Durant.
one, and he can do all the nitty-gritty, dirty work that they didn't have anyone else doing for them last year.
Last team in this division, the Los Angeles Lakers. Their biggest need is more shooting and what I think is the biggest pressing need, a backup big. I had the mispleasure and misfortune of watching Jackson Hayes minutes for the entire season last year.
Ooh.
Have you ever watched Jackson Hayes on your favorite team?
No, but I
No.
watched
Have
him
you
in
ever
Texas.
watched Jackson Hayes on your favorite team?
No.
Yeah, nobody can relate. It's not fun. It's not a good time at all. It's actually the worst time. He's not James Wiseman, but
I've watched Jericho Sims minutes. Does that count?
I would so much rather have Jericho Sims. Jericho Sims is fine. They just need somebody who can play when Anthony Davis is off the court and not sink them, not have just you're giving up minutes defensively when AD sits. He has to carry such a burden defensively, and a big part of that is he's playing next to D'Lo, Austin Reeves, these Rui Hachimura, not elite perimeter defenders by any means. But another part of it is literally when he sits, there is zero rim protection. They need to fix that. And we know they need shooting. They were near the bottom of the league in three-point volume last year. Here comes a star, Dalton Connect, to save the day, so maybe we're good there. But interior is still a massive focus that they're going to have to save in free agency.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, one of the biggest knocks for Dalton Connect is that he's not the defender that, a lot of people would hope for. And now that you have him on this team, alongside all the other lackluster defenders already, that back line definitely needs some help. And Anthony Davis he's already been fighting for his life. And drafting Connect is not doing you any favors at that end. Drafting him obviously comes with caveats and stuff. And I think you still do that. You still do that same exact move. Great deal or great pick for them. But they desperately need another guy back there to help AD.
Especially because AD, he's we have to give him credit because he's been very healthy. He's been very reliable, right? But also, quietly, he's starting to now get up there, right? Anthony Davis is 32, 33 years old. You don't want...
He's not 33.
How?
He's like 31, I think.
Is he 31?
Yeah, he's not 33.
I'm guessing 32.
Let's see. I think
Is he turning 32 this year?
in March. He's 31.
Okay, that's what I figured.
But yeah, he doesn't. A few more years of prime AD.
I actually thought, wow, that's actually crazy. I thought he was much older. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
I take that back.
He has a few more years of prime AD, but pretty soon, we're not going to know when it comes, but a slippage will happen, and it's probably with defensive athleticism. That's tended to be where it is with bigs. You got to plan for that, and you got to get a big in there that, their whole thing is they're trying to not trade for a star, despite all of us saying, go get Trae Young, go get D. Mitch, all this stuff, because they're trying to build the right way and build an infrastructure of a good rotation. You need a big man there that can be there for more than a year. You need to have a partner there in that front court that can be someone you look forward to for the next several years of Anthony Davis's career. And it's not Jackson Hayes. I can tell you that.
Does that player exist right now for you?
Sure, they have their exceptions and ways they can pay more than minimum. Go get an Andre Drummond. I don't know. Get somebody competent for the bench. Like it doesn't got to be anybody amazing. Like if we're talking a great trade where they can find a way to trade picks, go trade a first-round pick and something for a Nas Reed if he's available. If the Timberwolves are in cap hell,
Listen, I know people. I can get you a Clint Capella on your team ASAP. Don't worry about it.
You're joking. I would fucking love Clint Capella off the bench. It would be incredible.
Yeah,
It doesn't make sense money-wise, but you can have Rui Hachimura. Give me Clint Capella.
Did you just try to curse me like that?
Lakers fans would hear me say that and be like, this fucking idiot. They love Rui Hachimura.
Yeah. That's hilarious. What's the next team?
One playoff run. Wow.
Crazy what shooting 52% from three for 3 weeks will do for you.
Tricked everybody.
Next division, let's go to the East. The Central Division. Who has the Cleveland Cavaliers?
That is me. I think that they need shooting from the big position. They need to find a way to be able to space the floor. Whether that happens because Evan Mobley is finally going to take the offensive leap that people are begging him to take, right? He's taken steps forward, right? He started shooting a little bit more last season from three, and he doesn't even need to be like knock down Brook Lopez Splash Mountain, but you need to be able to look like a threat, not be a complete zero, not be a negative from the 3-point line, because when you have Evan Mobley, and you have Jared Allen. If neither of them can shoot, your offense gets real clunky very, very quickly. And if you are going to keep Garland, you're going to keep Donovan Mitchell, you want them to have as much space as possible to operate. And that for me is going to be the number one thing, because they drafted
Jalen Tyson.
Yes, they drafted Jalen Tyson to kind of fill the Isaac Okoro role. So you still have, like, they're trying to replenish their wings. It's really just incumbent on Evan Mobley to keep stretching the floor.
Yeah, and they're kind of like the Suns, where they're committing to their group and thinking a new coach can be the key here.
Mm-hmm.
Their biggest weakness is we don't know what Kenny Atkins is going to do. Can he fix his team, right? Can he have a new look for them that makes the spacing work with the two bigs, the ball handling duties and off-ball duties work between the two guards? It's all going to be internal development. They're not going to have a huge splash this summer, I don't think.
Yeah. We should see a better year from Garland as well.
Like, when his jaw's not broken.
Yeah, he just went through too many injuries. Was out the lineup, and by the time he came back, D. Mitch was already rolling. So you can't really step on his toes and take over, take control back over. So you give everybody a full off season. Cleveland Cavaliers, you guys get one more chance, right? That you fired the coach. You guys have one more chance to see if this big four can work.
Yeah.
If not, changes are made.
So they're not going to make a change this summer. You know who needs to? The next team on this list, the Chicago Bulls, are my team.
Oh, man.
And what I have written down
30
is...
seconds.
30 seconds. I have
Clock starts
1,
now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words spinning, 7 words written down. Please trade these motherfuckers and add spacing. And that's all I got to say about the Bulls.
Perfect.
That was elite analysis.
You know who the motherfuckers are? Trade them. We have Buzelis, we have Giddey, we have a bunch of guards, no shooters. Find them some shooters so these guys can develop properly. Otherwise, you're going to be looking at the worst basketball team you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And trade the veterans.
Yeah, I mean, when he says, like, find you some shooters, doesn't have to be, like, high-level shooters whatsoever. Just get, like, a Tim Hardaway Jr. or whatever the case may be. Guys will just make them feel more comfortable on the court because...
Trenches.
Listen, bro, it's the Bulls. What do you mean?
It's so bad.
It's the Bulls, bro.
Find a level of spacing that gives you competency.
Where's
so
Tim? Like, yo, y'all suck.
Who wants Tim Hardaway Jr. at a time like this? DeRozan is a free agent. Let him walk. Trade Zach LaVine. Trade Vucevic for
So sad.
the bag of crackers you can get for him, and keep it pushing. Clearly, they have Giddey, Buzelis, Kobe White, and Dosunmu as their future. They commit to it.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk anymore about them, about the on-court product, because the whole world cares so little about their current on-court product because they need to find a new one that I don't think we need to give it the time of the day. Who has the Pacers?
I have the Indiana Pacers.
What is their biggest weakness?
So, we saw this team go ahead and make it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. And as a Hawks fan, I've been through this before. I don't want to say I know a fluke when I see one.
That's exactly what you're saying.
But
I'll say it for you. I know a fluke when I see one.
something smells fishy, okay? A lot of things went their way. They did exactly what they're supposed to do, play the team in front of them with the guys who were wearing the opposing jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Right now, congrats to them, just resigned Pascal Siakam. That's a huge W, of course. But when I look at this team, I don't think about moves that they can make outside of their roster. I look within their roster, and I think they just need more internal development from the guys like Andrew Nembhard. I look at him, and I see what he did in the playoffs, and I'm like, he got some real shit to his game. He can take it to another gear. And he definitely locks up that starting two-guard spot. Although there's like a few concerns about his game and his ability to create on a consistent basis, you're not asking him to do that because you have Pascal and Tyrese Halliburton there. And of course, speaking of like development and whatnot, we all know Tyrese Halliburton, he has a few things in his game that he needs to adjust and correct in order for this team's ceiling and also his ceiling as a star player to continue to evolve and progress. And then also, I think another probably massive question mark is their lottery pick from 2 years ago, Benedict Mathurin.
Yeah.
What are we doing at this point in time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the biggest weakness they have is not really a personnel weakness, like they need to make moves, but they need to clear up minutes for their young guys.
Yeah.
Figure out what you can get from Benedict Mathurin. Is he your starting two long-term, or is it Nembhard? Is Nembhard best as a sixth man? And what can you get out of Jarris Walker this year? Because they basically gave him a redshirt season, which wasn't because of anything to do with him. They just have a deep team that was trying to win now. They have 1,000 guys that can play. So they basically give Jarris Walker a development year in the G League. What can you get from him? That can be a big leap from them if he comes in year 2 and can be this versatile forward that can do things for them. That's how this team's gonna make a big leap. They made the free agency move. Now you have the young guys develop and take you to the next level.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. But outside of that, they're cool.
For their sake, for the Pacers' sake, I hope it's not a fluke. But like you said, a lot of stuff went their way. I want to see Tyrese Halliburton. Listen, get in the lab, right?
Yeah.
Call up Drew Hanlon. I need you to come next year and have a bag. That is my ask for the Pacers.
Now, something about them too that they're gonna have to really make a decision on is Obi Toppin. Did they resign him yet? I don't believe so.
I have no idea.
But
I'm not sure.
Obi's he's genuinely a great fit there. But there's gonna be some real hard conversations and decisions. They could let him walk. Me personally, I want to let him walk because he can only take you so high.
That's not hard to me at
Compared to
all.
someone like, well, he's genuinely, he's like when it comes to this team and their identity, he is that. He
For sure, he's good.
embodies that.
Give Jarris
But-
Walker his minutes. Let's
Exactly.
keep moving.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a lot like the easier decision because he can do exactly what Obi Toppin does, but on a much broader scale with the defense, the playmaking, and not playmaking, but dribbling and all that he does.
Yeah.
Who has the Milwaukee Bucks?
Who does? I think I might have the Milwaukee Bucks.
What is the Milwaukee Bucks' biggest weakness and how do they fix it?
They need fast people. And
They do it. That's exactly what I was thinking. They need youth and athleticism.
They need fast people and they need perimeter defense. You need somebody who can help Dame out. And the draft pick last night, right? That is
Jay Johnson.
That is where they went. They went with a project, but they went with a super athletic project. And so when all else fails, you can throw him out there and he's going to be fast. And you need more speed.
Yeah.
And you need more athleticism and more pop to your roster because Dame, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, who is kind of always hurt now. You guys they called up Pat Bev and was like, yeah, we need help. Like you don't have the athletic prowess on your team to really, really take you guys to the next level. So that's what I think the Bucks need.
I fear it is time to trade Brook Lopez. A player who we love. We've been up here for years saying that Brook Lopez is highly underrated, incredibly valuable for what he brings as a rim protector and a three-point shooter. It's time for them to get fast, and the best way to do that is get rid of the slow guy that's down low. And he's one of your only players that has value on a team that has very little assets. You're not trading Dame. You're not really getting much for Chris Middleton that's worth trading him. Giannis is Giannis. You got to trade Brook Lopez, I think. And I'm thinking it's time for center Giannis to be the look next year. Might be their best bet. Trade him for an athletic forward, do whatever you can, see what the Pelicans got. If they got assets for you, you can reroute them. Maybe bring in a Jeremy Grant type, I don't know. The person that need to target with it, I'm not sure. I've seen rumors like there's Marcus Smart available. That'd be a good fit here. That could also be cool. Many paths you can go, but I think Giannis being the center might be the best path going forward.
That's tough.
But would Giannis want to be center? Because we already saw,
Does Giannis want to win?
I don't
he
know.
says
Does
so,
he?
But he says so. But that's actually a completely different thing when it comes to asking him to set screens and all that other stuff.
That doesn't got to be center Giannis. I think that's the easiest conclusion. It can be another center of some sort, whatever you trade those assets for. But Brook is probably, you got to bite a tough bullet to improve the team in any substantial way. That's the one I'd want to bite if I had to deal with all these bad options.
This is so tough because let's say that they trade Brook. In consecutive off seasons, you're going to trade Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez and completely overhaul your identity.
Yeah.
And if you do get fast, great. You still need to be able to
Defend.
to defend and
that's the biggest problem.
but like the underrated thing that is, well, it might not be underrated, but like Brook Lopez is also a spacer for your offense. And if you trade him, not only do you need to get like fast, but you need to get fast shooters, and the fast athletic shooters are at a premium.
Exactly.
Like you don't just make crazy athletic, floor spacers like that. So that's why it really is hard. So I don't know if they have it in them to do it.
Yeah.
But what you're saying makes sense.
And I wouldn't want them to, for all the reasons you're saying, I wouldn't want them to. I would love it if they can keep Brook. Their offense is worse when he's on the court. 2 points per possession worse. But their defense is 8 points per 100 possessions better when he's on the court. He's the only reason their defense was decent last year. And that's tough because you got to find a new way to be an effective defense. And maybe that's Giannis in a new role that's going to be really carrying the load there. We'll see. The reasons you're saying are very valid. They would have to completely change the way they play. But I don't know if they have a ceiling playing the way they are now with the roster they have. Like, you can try it again, and maybe you think you have the best two players in the series. You can have a puncher's chance. I think we might be in for a whole overload of what Giannis basketball looks like.
Yeah, I think honestly that at this point in time, they should be desperate to try anything. And Brook Lopez is genuinely one of the more valuable trade pieces in the NBA if that is the case, because he's so rare because of the shot blocking and 3-point shooting that he adds to any team in general. But if not Brook Lopez, then I guess the next asset that we're talking about at this point is Bobby Portis. And I don't know too many teams who are jumping out of their season necessarily saying,
let the bidding war
"Give me one,
commence."
Bobby.
You start the Bobby Portis bidding war. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
You're gonna get one Rui Hachimura for that. That shit, which low key maybe that'd be good for them. I don't know.
Listen, they're down bad. They're down bad. A bet on Brook Lopez is a bet on Chris Middleton as well.
Yeah. All right. Who has the Detroit Pistons, the last team in the Central Division?
That is me, and they have one thing that they need. They need shooting.
Hell yeah, they
because
do.
their roster right now, Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, right? All these guys that they have, the very young core, these guys cannot shoot, and it is going to sound crazy in that arena. It's going to sound scary because none of the shots are going in. And while I do like the pieces that they have, I like them as individuals.
Yeah.
And I'm in on Pistons basketball just because I want to see Ron Holland play basketball. I want to see Cade Cunningham play. But as a team and as a collection, it is not good. And the one thing that has plagued the Pistons over the past couple of years is you literally haven't allowed your players to have enough space to develop because everybody is a non-shooter. You need one guy. They're one of the people, we talk about trenches, they should be calling up Tim Hardaway Jr. and saying, can you please come play for us? Because the only thing that they've done, like they went out, try to get Joe Harris and try to see if he could be, the shooter again. That didn't really work. Maybe Tim Hardaway is the guy, and you have one more.
Whatever it is, you're right, it's spacing. We all loved the Ron Holland pick when it happened yesterday. Again, go watch that stream back if you want to see our reactions to every pick. Best player available on the board, talent pick makes sense. You cannot play Ron Holland and Asar Thompson together and expect to have any reasonable sense of basketball around Cade Cunningham.
That's 70s basketball.
That's never being effective basketball. That's not effective in any generation. So something has to give. Some of these guys have to develop as shooters. And again, it's on their new coach's job to do a better job than Monty Williams' did, which is a very easy bar to clear. But they got to do the same thing we said with the Bulls, where give your young guys a chance to develop by surrounding them with competent shooting, that they're in a structured environment that lets them improve their skills.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the easier ways to address their shooting roles with like a legit person with just like pull and gravity and whatnot is, I'm sorry, I'd hate to do it, but Jaden Ivey might have to be gone because
No, he got to go.
He might have to be gone.
I agree.
He might have to be gone just because Ron Holland and his fit with Cade Cunningham, just even black and white on paper, is a lot more cleaner. And Jaden Ivey is not the most valuable asset, but when it comes to just what you want, it's just someone who can be respectable on both ends of the court. Simple trade to me.
Yeah, and there's teams out there that will want to take the bet on Jaden Ivey being rehabilitated.
Tim Hardaway Jr. and Reggie Bullock. You guys are Detroit Pistons.
Reggie Bullock, oh my God, his return? Here we go.
Keldon Johnson for Jaden Ivey is going to move mountains.
Ooh.
Let's do it. Let's
now
do
you
it.
see why the Spurs went ahead and did that trade? Coming around to it now.
All right, that's the end of the Central Division. We're 2 out of 6 divisions in. We got to speed up. We always do this.
I know.
You guys yap too much in the first couple. We got to go fast.
I'm just so passionate about Keldon Johnson, man. Sorry.
All right, we're going to go to the Southwest Division now. Start with the San Antonio Spurs. Who has the Spurs?
That is me. We talked all last year about the fact that they need a point guard. They went out. They think that they got their point guard of the future. They drafted Stephon Castle. Stephon Castle is also not a great shooter.
Correct.
And so now you have to go and get spacing around Wemby. You think that you have your point guard? That's fine. We can work with that. We need complementary pieces because Wemby is going to be amazing next season. And if you have somebody who can finally set him up, now getting Wemby, spacer, floor general, that is a formula that I know will bode success for San Antonio. So that's the number one thing that I need from them.
Yeah. They just got to be diligent and be patient because, they had the 8th pick in the draft and they punted it. They kicked the can down the road, as people like to say, traded it for a 2031 first-round pick.
For a middle schooler.
For an 11-year-old. And, people see that and they're like, a 2031 pick gets you the 8th pick? That's crazy, blah, blah, blah. Because they see an 11-year-old, like you're saying. It doesn't really work that way. What they did was, this is an extra pick they had from the Toronto Raptors. And instead of picking it now, they said, we're going to trade it for an equal pick in the future and use it as a trade asset. You move laterally, but you give yourself more time to do something with that. Because if you don't like the guys in that draft right now, you keep the ammunition and have a later timeline with it, that's fine. But they would only do that if, one, they want to be bad again next year and have another high-level pick, and two, they want to make a trade. They intend to trade that pick. You don't trade for a 2031 pick and intend to pick a guy in fucking 7 years. You're going to make a move. And I think what that means is, one, they don't want Trae Young. They don't want Zach LaVine. They don't want the guys available now. They don't want Brandon Ingram. But they know they're going to want somebody eventually. They're going to want to get a star eventually. And that's why they're keeping that ammunition. So when the right guy comes available, whoever it may be, they can pounce on it. So I think you don't get greedy. You don't try and do anything crazy. You just build the supporting cast around Wemby, around Castle, and nurture these role players. So when the time finally comes that you get another guy, you have the foundation around them set.
I 110% agree. Like you said, they basically showed patience. Like you used that word earlier. They basically did that. They didn't absolutely love all the guys available because unlike Stephon Castle, everyone else like came with specific caveats that isn't unavoidable.
Yeah.
Whether it be Rob Dillingham and his defense, Marcus Bells and the shooting or whatever. Massive concerns and questions. And they did like the smart things. Went ahead, built up more assets so they can figure out what they want to do in the future and just give them more time to just worry about the other edges.
With that being said, they should have picked Cody Williams.
I think they'll live. Oh no, Cody Williams. They'll live. They'll be fine. I think right now at
When
this
he's a
point
star,
in time,
you're not going to say that.
I'm not gonna have that conversation, but I think he's gonna be a great player. But in the meantime, go ahead and in order to supplement the skills that Cody Williams will potentially have in the future or whatever, sign the KCPs of the world. Sign the random role players, the Royce O'Neals of the world, and you'll be fine.
Right, who has the Grizzlies?
I think I have the Memphis.
What is the Grizzlies' biggest problem?
Oh, I think I have the Grizzlies. So, they went ahead and drafted Zach Edey. Tremendous pick because in college he was quite literally the best screen setter, which is a super valuable thing when you have specifically John Morant on your team, and his play style definitely requires someone like Zach Edey. And I think all they need is just simply health. Yeah,
exactly.
That's literally it.
Don't have
They're
your entire
already
team
here.
die a month into the season, and you're gonna be A-okay.
Yeah.
But I think they probably should get a backup big. They filled their hole with Zach Edey, but he's like their only center now. Let's get another guy behind him, especially with the fact that he's a rookie, with the fact that he's a guy that has a very specific skill set. You need some versatility in that front court. And granted, Jaren Jackson can play 5. He can give you some of that. But I think finding one more cheap 5 can be really important for them.
Yeah, they got like the Jake LaRavias and Salty Aldamas, and they're good.
Not 5s by any means.
They're good, but it's like, it's not necessarily a huge concern for me personally.
Yeah, no, again, this is a team that doesn't have huge concerns. Their lineup is going to be fantastic next year.
Yeah.
They need to have to do something small around the edges, and to me, that's a backup 5. So you're not in a situation that the Lakers were in last year, where every time the backup comes in, you just die. I'd rather them not have that issue.
Yeah, but you don't need Zach Edey running up and down the floor for 35 minutes a night because you don't have any another option. So
And
I'm good with that.
We talked about it on the stream last night. I personally am the biggest Zach Edey fan in the world. I love this fit. We have the guy who's going to be the best offensive rebounder in the league, probably an elite screen setter, maybe say the best in the league. One of the biggest radiuses for catching pick and rolls with John Morant who gets downhill. All of that he's going to eat immediately. And you have Jaren Jackson to day one be able to be his weak side help. Their GM did a press conference yesterday where he talked about this. And he said people have a lot of misconceptions around Zach Edey because when he was in college, he was told, don't be aggressive on defense. You can't foul out. We need you to do everything offensively. He said, we're going to make him be aggressive. We're going to let him use that 7'11 wingspan, and we're going to let him foul because it's fine. He doesn't got to play 48 minutes a night.
Yeah.
We're going to see that from them. So I think this big guy is going to be running up and down the court, huffing and puffing. You need another big in there to help get him used to this NBA world.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, whenever they see Zach Edey and see what he was being used as in college, I think that's like his only strength on the court. And I think people don't take into account all the nuances, like you said, like they need him on the court for other reasons, scoring and stuff like that. But also in college, like wasn't allowed to be aggressive because they only allow 5 fouls for every player on the court,
that is different.
And he is just so valuable, too valuable of a player for Purdue's offense back then to risk that. So I agree. Yeah. He's going to make a major impact.
Sorry, man. Again, go watch the stream part for Zach Edey's pick. I had a lot of thoughts on why I think is good. Go check that out.
Yes.
Who has the Houston Rockets?
Not me. That might be you.
I have the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Breaking news, my bad. I wrote, clear up the rotation and figure out your team politics. That is the biggest thing.
Politics? What do you mean by that?
Jalen Green.
There's no clear hierarchy there.
Exactly, your hierarchy, which, saying clear up the team politics doesn't necessarily imply bad politics or imply there's like a problem right now. But they have a coach who's coming into year 2. Last year was a blank slate. And they have like 1,000 rotation pieces. At point guard, they got Fred VanVleet and Amen Thompson. Shooting guard, Jalen Green, Reed Shepard. Small forward, Tari Eason, Dylan Brooks, and Cam Whitmore. We're going on the list. Each position has a battle to figure out who's going to start and who's going to get backup minutes. And right now, there's certain guys that are ingrained into that. You know, Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet were paid last summer. They're going to be the starters. They're the bridge players to bring professionalism and competency to a team that was in the gutter for like 3 years. Outside of that, which young guys are going to rise to the cream of the crop? I don't know. I don't think they need to do anything dramatic to figure it out. Maybe there's a consolidation trade, you know. There's a lot of reports that they want to get good. Brandon Ingram's available. So maybe some of these guys, maybe Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, whatever.
I would hate that too.
Consolidated. Whoever it may be, they need to either make a consolidation trade to have less guys or figure out who's going to be the priority and empower them.
A lot of what you see, especially on great teams, the stuff that people talk about all the time is knowing your role and figuring out where you are going to fit into this rotation. And the fact that you just drafted Reed Shepard, I said it on the stream, that puts a direct target on Jalen Green's back, right? You have a Amen Thompson who's going to come up and be the point guard. You need to know, is it going to be Reed or is it going to be Jalen Green that's going to be the two of the future? And do you want to rely on somebody that is going to give you 30 points a night for 3 weeks out of the season and then, you know, be a very up and down player for the rest of the year? Or Reed Shepard, who I think is going to be a very consistent shooter throughout his career, throughout the season. Obviously, you know, he's going to have rookie ups and downs and whatnot, but you have to figure out, this is our 1, 2, 3. And it's not even about like, oh, whose team is it? It's just who's going to do what, right?
Yeah, who's going to play with who?
Exactly. Who's going to play with who? What is your responsibility? Then we could actually start cooking. And that's something that Ime, I have full like confidence in him being able to do that.
Yeah. So basically we're saying is be patient and figure it out. Don't make anything drastic. There's a lot of reports that they're trying to trade for Kevin Durant, are willing to trade Sengun when they're not fully bought in on him. All this bullshit. Don't do bullshit. Just be calm, be patient, be a young team, let your young guys grow.
Chill.
Don't do anything ridiculous. That's the biggest weakness. They have to overcome their desire to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't understand the rush. I mean, obviously, like you see those. I believe in some of those reports and them wanting to get really good with what they did, concerning what they did last year and getting VanVleet and Dylan Brooks and whatnot, and also having a veteran coach like Ime Udoka. But, you know, I agree with you guys wholeheartedly. They just need to genuinely also like commit to certain things and certain guys by the end of next season, for sure.
All right, who has the Dallas Mavericks?
I have the Dallas Mavericks. Now,
What is their biggest weakness?
we saw them get obliterated in the NBA Finals.
We did.
In the nicest way to put it. And we saw them obviously face one of the more versatile teams that we've seen in a very, very long time. And that exposed a lot of things within the Dallas Mavericks, whether it be, you know, Luka Doncic in his defense or Kyrie Irving in his performance as a second option. I think the question for them is much broader than that. I look at guys like Daniel Gafford, and I think he is pretty much wasted space on that team, considering he's a good player. Good player.
Wasted
space is crazy.
Wild.
You can't call somebody a good player.
He's a good player. He's a good player. He has a place, but just not on this
But
team.
it's wasted.
Exactly. You know, considering the only reason why he's wasted space is because
that's not right.
Derek Lively exists and he's there, and obviously he is a more impactful player. I would value someone like Daniel Gafford if Derek Lively. I would value Gafford more if Lively wasn't there, but Lively's there and he's arrived and he eats up all the minutes. You need players who can shore up your wing depth, because you're not going to be able to rely on the Maxi Klebs of the world, who, again, I'm saying it again, wasted space. You know, he's supposed to be a three.
Now that is wasted space.
There we go. He's supposed to be like a big shooter. It's not really that, bro. And he's gone through so many injuries in the past few years. They definitely need to shore up their wings, because Josh Green, really athletic, and he had a couple great finals games, but they need more wings in order to make sure that they hit all facets of versatility.
Yeah, they figured out their formula. They have two really versatile bigs that give them front court dominance. The two best, probably the best backcourt in the league, and versatile wings that can be athletic and switch and defend really well. I think they just got to double down on that. One, they can do nothing. Their biggest priority is to re-sign Derrick Jones and make sure you can do what you did this year, next year for a full sample size and get that high seed. So they can be a little bit complacent, I think, and not do too much. But if the opportunity comes around, they've been linked to Jeremy Grant trades. I don't know what they're going to trade to get him money-wise.
They just loaded the clip.
Yeah, whatever it is, that would be a type of player that doubles down on what we're talking about. He's the same type of guy, a long wing that can defend as a PJ Washington. Just get another one. Keep the formula in place. Be athletic down low. Be skilled up high, and be versatile in the middle. Find a way to add to your bench and have more of that.
Yeah, exactly. You need guys who can play in a multitude of ways, because even if you do decide to keep someone like Derrick Jones Jr., who was fantastic for them, it makes someone like Daniel Gafford's life a little bit harder because they kind of have redundant skills, except Derrick Jones Jr. is obviously better because you do it inside out and all that. So,
the last team in this division, and we'll be halfway done, is the New Orleans Pelicans. My team. I wrote reshuffle the deck is a way to phrase it, because they are. Last year, we coined them the deepest team in the NBA, at least in the Western Conference. And that's for good reason. They have legitimately 8 or 9 guys that are very good. The combination of guys are not greater than the sum of their parts. A lot of talented players that together don't make sense. They found ways to just be really smart and brute force their way into having a good defense last year and work out, strengths around their weaknesses. I think they need to move some guys around and figure out a way to have a team that's a little more concise, that makes more sense. We talked about it at length. They need playmakers. They need a new center who's going to be able to fit Zion better. They need passing, right? All these things, shooting. Brandon Ingram, you got to go. CJ McCollum, you probably don't got to go because it's not a huge market for you. But if there was a trade for CJ McCollum, you might got to go too. We got to empower Herb Jones, empower Trey Murphy. They just drafted Missy, who can be their center. Maybe he can start right away. I don't know. He's young. Maybe that's the key there. You need a point guard. You need one less Brandon Ingram. Not exactly sure what the trade's going to be, but they got to do something big that drastically changes the look of their team around these guys.
This is the upgraded version of the Houston Rockets, where you need hierarchy. You need to understand where everything is going to fall. And you kind of have an idea about it, right? Like Zion is going to be the one. After that, how does it fall? Because we've said for a long time, Trey Murphy needs to start next season. Like Trey Murphy needs to be there because he's fantastic. You obviously have Herb Jones. And then the talent at the top, Zion, B.I., CJ. One of them should go. All three of us thought that yesterday they drafted Missy, which is like cool, right? You get some more athletes. I think Isaac and I were more of a fan of that than you were. They need to get some more like true playmaking. CJ has stepped into that role and he's done a really good job. Somebody needs to kind of set the table.
2-3-5 should be Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Zion. 1 and 5, let's figure that out.
Something that CJ McCollum did the other day, something that he said the other day while he was doing his stuff on ESPN was that like sometimes throughout the NBA playoffs you see teams and players get overtaxed because of either roster issues or like players going down. And he is quite literally, him and his team, quite literally the definition of that, because naturally we all know he's not a point guard, one of the better players in the NBA today. But he got certainly overtaxed when Zion went down, and even when Zion was on the court too, there were just certain things that he was asked to do that's just simply not his bag.
Would you trade Dyson Daniels and Brandon Ingram for DeJounte Murray and Onyeka Okongwu?
Dyson Daniels and who else?
Brandon Ingram.
Yes.
Brandon Ingram?
DeJounte plus Okongwu.
Yes.
As a Hawks fan.
I don't know if I'm not that in love with Brandon Ingram for the Atlanta Hawks.
Because if we can get something like that done, obviously DeJounte and Ingram is like the most forecasted trade. Everyone thinks that could happen. If we can throw one of those big men, preferably Okongwu for the Hawks, and we got DeJounte, Herb, Trey, Zion, Okongwu.
Kind of cooking.
Missy off the bench.
Kind of
I'd
cooking.
Larry
rather-
Nance off the bench. Jose Alvarado off the bench. Jordan Hawkins off the bench.
If
You can have Hawkins.
taking
You can have Hawkins.
myself out of this, taking the Hawks perspective out of this, if I'm the New Orleans Pelicans, I would want to do this in Arby because Onyeka Okongwu is a type of big who isn't clogging up a lot of space, and he knows how to move around the perimeter and find himself valuable in other ways that don't rely on his post scoring and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's the Pelicans. We know spending less time on them because we've known for the past year they got to change some stuff up. We are now 3 divisions in.
Woo!
3 more to go. We're going to fire through them. You know how it goes. The second half is always faster than the first half because we get tired and I got to pee. Next division, the Southeast.
Body.
The Southeast. This should be the fastest one. This is the least interesting division in the NBA, I think.
True.
What is the biggest weakness of the Atlanta Hawks?
Defense next. Cope next. Therapy next.
Listen, I like what the Hawks are cooking low-key. I thought about it overnight. I know, again, you went viral on HOHIG for being distraught when they didn't pick Alex Sarr. And I get it. I think Alex Sarr is going to be fantastic. But if you have Reese Shea and Jalen Johnson as 2 big wings around Trey, maybe Brandon Ingram soon, we'll see. That's a formula that they haven't had before. True length and size. They tried it with Cam Reddish and Hunter. These guys stink. I think they are not super far away from being competent again. And to me, that screams they need to figure out their 5 situation is their biggest weakness.
Yeah. Speaking seriously, they genuinely just need, of course, like the 5. You say the 5 specifically. Defense is the biggest issue because Clint Capella has regressed drastically on that end of the court.
Yeah.
And the last time we were actually a respectable team back in 2021 was when he was a real.
I got this picture pulled up. This was you. This is your mood.
Why my eyeballs look like they've been knocked out of my head? That's so crazy.
You look at those toys, the little gel toys, you squeeze them and the eyes pop out.
Yeah, no,
And then pointing different directions. You look nuts.
Yeah, I know I look crazy as hell, but no, that genuinely was my reaction because I thought that we had, someone who. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm happy with what we have right now because.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not.
He's
But
Let him cope.
I'm going through the motions and I see the pathway of Zach and the things that he can offer to us that we've never had before at that position. We thought we had it with DeAndre Hunter, but he's so inconsistent with his health and whatnot. But at this point in time, like we need cohesiveness and just build the ideal Trae Young team. I don't know how high that ceiling can be considering the playmakers around him. But I think the first step that you have to take also is like trading away DeJounte Murray. That needs to be addressed. That's the quickest way to get your cohesive arm.
Yeah, that's the biggest weakness, trading DeJounte. DeJounte's presence is your biggest weakness. And not because DeJounte's bad or a problem. He's very good. The fit never worked with Trae. We knew it never worked. We thought it wouldn't work. Except then I fooled myself into thinking it would work because I'm an idiot and I gaslit myself. But here we are. They got to move him. Who has the Wizards?
I think I have the Wizards as well. Quick message. Congratulations to them. They got Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr, you gained a new hater in me.
Man.
I love it.
You gained a new hater in me.
Yeah. But just don't be as bad as next year. At this point in time, they got Bilal. Traded away Denny. Questionable trade in my opinion. But, they got Bub Carrington as well from Pittsburgh. And I think at this point in time, they just need to go ahead and start to form your identity, try to find some type of structure and get a feel for the room. Don't need to make any moves whatsoever. Don't need to trade anybody other than Kyle Kuzma and get more assets for him because he generally just doesn't need to be there. But other than that, they just need to get a feel for everything and understand what they have on paper.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. There's such a blank slate right now that we can't really identify a weakness because they're not really trying to be good.
Because they're weak.
Yeah, they're literally coming. Last year was year 1 of rebuild when they didn't have any assets at all, so it was especially stinky. So it's keep doing the thing, right? Do what young teams that rebuilding should do. Take on bad contracts and get future picks. Make smart moves around the margins. Develop your young guys well. Probably trade Kuzma. You can cash in on him. Free up the minutes for Sarr, Kispert, all these guys you just picked. Do a proper rebuild with smart moves. And I don't think Denny Avdija trade is necessarily on the right track there. I think that wasn't a smart move per se. So let's get on the right course.
I
Troy
agree.
Weaver.
Who's next?
Congratulations.
The Charlotte Hornets, who
Is that you?
I have the Charlotte Hornets, and this is one we're spending 30 seconds on.
25 seconds.
Start my timer. I wrote, find the greatest ankle doctor on the planet. Find the LeBron James of ankle doctors. Give him to LaMelo Ball. Other than that, nothing else matters because him not being healthy holds you back entirely. You have wasted years because LaMelo Ball has wasted years of development. They drafted
T-John.
your guy, Tijon Salon. Not my favorite pick in the draft, I'll say that. Not the smartest pick in the draft, I think, given where they were and where he could have been.
That's
taken.
time. That's
there
30
you go.
seconds. Cut out.
Next team, the Orlando Magic. Who has the Orlando
That's not
Magic?
me. That's not
I
me.
have the Orlando
There you
Magic
go.
once again. I wrote, find shooters and a point guard.
We've been saying it for years.
Pretty simple.
We've
But
been
Yeah.
saying it for years.
so they need to find shooters. A lot of these teams were saying find shooting. It's a premium in the NBA. We know everybody needs shooting. They especially need shooting because they have especially neglected it in a way that I find hilarious. That for like the past 7 years, every draft pick they've done is like, who's the tallest guy that has the longest arms that can't shoot?
You.
Gimme. It started with Jonathan Isaac. It kept on going. And it's worked, right? They have a great defense, a good coach that has found ways to win around this style. But then we saw in the playoffs came around and it became a rock fight. When you found one team whose lack of shooting was an immovable object, one team whose lack of shooting was an unstoppable force, and they just combined to be the least entertaining 7 games of my life. A lot of nerds on Twitter will try to tell you that this was super entertaining. If you like the series, you like real ball. They're fucking lying. It was both teams ignoring the worst shooters in the court and letting them take open shots. It was horrendous. They need to be in a position where you can't beat them that way again.
Exactly. And listen, when the shots were falling, The Magic are a really good team.
Yeah. They fall exactly
really
24% of the time they shoot from 3 though, so that's a problem.
That is a massive problem.
Yeah, most definitely, I agree. Consolidate, shout out to Cole Anthony, shout out to Anthony Black and all the rest of those guys. But if you're not going to be able to cash in on those shooters through free agency, some trade needs to be made.
Go get Anthony Simons, end of segment.
Woo.
I like that.
Next team
That'd be
here.
crazy.
Let my iPad unlock real quick. The Miami Heat.
That is me. They need shooting depth. The Miami Heat need shooters as well.
All
And,
shooting. Everyone needs
we
shooting.
keep saying that, but specifically shooting off the bench.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're gonna get out of Jimmy Butler. You know what Bam is gonna do for you. Tyler Hero is the shooter, and Terry had a bad season whenever he got to him. He was hurt. He also didn't shoot well. I think with the full off season, he's gonna get back to just like regular Terry Rozier numbers. And so having Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero in the starting lineup that's okay. You get to the bench lineup, and that's where it starts to get shaky. That's where you start to see like Jaime Jaquez, Caleb Martin, who's just average. Like you need guys who can come in relief of your first unit and still be able to space the floor, still be able to knock down shots, and actually have a legitimate rotation come playoff time.
And Kello Ware is a good start to that. They just added him, who should be a stretch 5. We'll see how that translates right away. You got him and Kevin Love as your backup forwards. Actually, does Kevin Love start now? Why am I drawing blanks?
Kevin Love, no, that's Haywood Highsmith.
Yeah, okay, so you have Kevin Love and you have Ware off the bench. That gives you some good shooting at the front court.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's do the backcourt. Let's figure that part out, because we need to find some spacers there for sure. They have a lot of guys who are interesting in their own ways, and they know how to make it work. It's the same thing with a lot of these teams that are stuck in the middle. Find ways to get yourself a little bit better so your strengths take you higher.
Yeah, because we've seen with Miami, every time that they make a crazy run, it's because their shooters decide to be Steph Curry. It's because they from 3-point land they decide to come alive, and they just haven't had that. They didn't have that last year, and that was something that has been very, very.
I hope they get more to Jovic next year. I hope he gets a lot of responsibility put on his shoulders. I like him.
I mean, Jaquez leap. Let's go.
He needs to shoot to be able to leap. Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the thing that they need to focus. More shooting off the bench.
Okay.
I agree.
We got 2 more divisions. Let's go back to the West. The Northwest Division. Who has the Utah Jazz?
Is that me?
Oh, it's once again me. I forget every team that I have. I think their biggest need right now in this summer is to maximize their assets. They just got blessed into getting Isaiah Collier at the 28th pick in the draft. Steal of the draft, I think. He fell incredibly far. Isaiah Collier is a clone of Colin Sexton. Your trade Sexton, I think. You take on bad deals, do the rebuilding team thing, because they have Larry Markkinen and they have young guys now that are starting to come together. They have Cody Williams, who should be a great fit there, Walker Kessler, John Collins, all these guys. So here's the thing. They have an owner that wants to compete, and they have Danny Ainge, who is a smart guy and knows they're not going to compete. So they have an owner that's telling them to make these moves and do these things, while Danny Ainge is clearly seemingly kind of like, okay, man, we're going to compete, we'll make the right moves. And he just doesn't. And he can say there's no deal out there, but we tried.
Yeah.
They're trying to balance that right now of being competent because their ownership wants to be, while Danny Ainge knows he should be tearing this motherfucker down and rebuilding from the bottom.
And we saw that last year quite literally when they started off, I think they started off either super hot or super trash, and they got hot and then were trash for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So they need to find a way to rebuild and take on stuff and accumulate assets without being egregious. Because if you trade Larry Markkinen, their owner is going to go insane. So you can't trade him as much as you want them to. But you can trade Sexton. You can trade John Collins if he gets you anything. All these things, same thing we said for the Wizards, do smart rebuilding stuff. Take on bad deals to get extra picks. Ship out assets that win now teams want. Improve your rebuild little by little and be patient.
I kind of like Colin Sexton there, though. He could go ahead and teach the Isaiah Collier.
You'd like him more. You'd like him a lot more in the Lakers, I'll tell you that.
Why would I like him on the Lakers?
Because he would shine, and we'd see him on a competent team. Not competent. We'd see him on a relevant team that's going to try to win.
See,
I like
but
him on the Milwaukee Bucks.
That us seeing the Lakers thrive is going to make us happy, and it won't.
Real quick. Did you know that Dalton Knecht is a Laker?
So the next team in the Northwest Division, I'll go. So I'll go with the Blazers. And
okay.
So for them, I said wing defense and depth, right? They traded for Denny, so you do get both of those things, depth and defense. But their guard rotation is kind of like heavy right now, and they're still trying to figure out who their guards of the future are going to be. You spent the 7th pick on Donovan Clingan, a pick that I think is very good.
For sure.
But the same way that you have a lot of guards that you're trying to figure out who you like, now you need to start building your forward room. I think that Denny was a good spot to start with that. Let's get some more of that, potentially, trade DeAndre Ayton to go get some more wings, right? If you like Klingon, that's probably like 1.5 problems that they need to solve. Is what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with Robert Williams? Because maybe that's a second problem. Figure out what you're going to do with your bigs, and then get some wings.
They have someone at every position. They should be the biggest sellers at the deadline next year.
100%.
Ayton can be sold. Or can be moved. Every Simon can be moved.
Your reputation's in the gutter.
Jeremy Grant can be moved.
Yeah.
Robert Williams needs to be moved. Why is he around? Why is Robert Williams there? They have no need for Robert Williams anymore.
Yeah.
Down the roster, they have veterans that need to be traded.
100%.
Danny Avdija can come in and directly replace Jeremy Grant, trade him to the Mavericks, whoever else, get more draft picks. Klingon can directly replace Ayton, trade him. Anthony Simon's a little more complicated. We'll see because
He's actually good.
he's very good. If Scoot's going to be Scoot, who they drafted and expect to be a star,
Then he can get out of here.
You got to get Simons up out of here. If Scoot stinks, then maybe you keep Simons around. That gets more complicated.
Yeah.
But even then, I think they should probably trade Simons because even if Scoot stinks, you're going to have to find another guy in the future anyways. Simons is nearing his prime. Trade him to the Orlando Magic or whatever and continue to get better and find long-term pieces there.
Yeah.
Go get, I don't know who they drafted last year, Jed Howard and whoever else, maybe Anthony Black, whatever. Like, get young and sell your veterans is what I think they need.
Yeah, I think the thing with Anthony Simons is that we all know he's good and he's damn near an all-star caliber player. I'm not calling him that officially just yet, but he's along that realm. The issue with him is that he is not someone that is the face of your franchise. He's more so, a Robin, or if not a Robin, then an Alfred or something like that. To go ahead and give you reassurance whenever your star player is down bad. And for the Portland Trailblazers right now, they don't have no star player. And so at that point in time, it's just like, you're just here getting buckets and you're here to get your paycheck and you're cashing out at the end of the day.
All right, next up, we got the three best teams in the West. They're all in one division, which I didn't even realize.
Let's go.
The Denver Nuggets, my team, their biggest issue is quite apparent. Their biggest flaw right now is what are you going to do with KCP and that spot, right? He opted out today. He's officially a free agent. Last night, Calvin Booth did a press conference addressing the situation, and it was a long-winded answer, so it wasn't this black and white. But part of his long-winded quote was him saying, the best teams in NBA history are able to replace their fifth guys. To make changes in the roster. They're prepared to let this guy walk if he gets a huge offer. They've made that abundantly clear. They are prepared for a world after KCP. So one, their biggest weakness is, can they figure out how to save KCP on this team and keep their team together? And if not, what are you going to do to replace him when he walks? You can start Christian Brown. Okay. How do you replace that bench depth? Because their bench depth stinks. They drafted Deron Holmes, who can fix the black hole they've had behind Jokic for years now at the center position. But after that, if Christian Brown's starting, your bench is once again very weak. I don't know. They don't have many avenues to get better, but they got to find a way to at least replace it with a competent body. Maybe it's find a way to go out and get Bruce Brown back. There's been a lot of smoke there. Whatever it may be, they have to either retain KCP or replace him.
Yeah.
Keep KCP around. Keep KCP around. If he leaves for all the reasons that you said, it sets in motion a chain reaction and stuff. That is just not going to be good for Denver. And all of their weaknesses that were exposed during this playoff run, they're only going to get bigger if KCP's not there next year. It would be very, very detrimental to what the Nuggets want to do. They took a risk this past year. They said, hey, we're going to let Bruce Brown walk, right? If you want to go get your bag, go get it. And Bruce Brown would have been extremely helpful off the bench for them this year.
Real quick, the Jazz are dominating this draft. Like I said, we're recording in the second round. They picked Filipowski. Cody Williams, Filipowski, and Collier.
Oh, wow.
They're in their bags. Danny Ainge is a goon.
Whoa, that is crazy, man.
Are we about to light the Jazz?
All right, let's slow down.
I'm just saying.
Let's slow down.
No, I like what they're doing a lot. I like it a lot.
I like what they're doing, but like the Jazz?
Yeah, I can never
the
like
brand?
Utah just at a principle, just like being me, being who I
Like the
am.
Mormons?
I feel that. Listen.
Why did you say it like that? Anyways.
I'm saying.
All right, next, who has the Timberwolves?
The jerseys are coming back? It's not
You
bad.
know what? I give it to you. Those jerseys are hard.
Yeah.
You have the T-Wolves?
No, I think you do. Isaac might have them.
Yeah, you have them.
Damn, I don't know who I have. No, I don't have the Wolves.
Who has the Wolves? It's not me.
Oh, my bad. I had the Wolves. That's hilarious.
I'm
bro.
always the guy that forgets until I'm not.
I took that title from you. The Minnesota Timberwolves. So last night we went ahead and we witnessed them go ahead and make a very surprising, bold move that we don't see too often from teams that quite literally just made the conference finals. They went ahead and traded for a top 8 pick. which was Rob Dillingham.
Amazing.
And we all know like the
Who they
Minnesota
followed that up
Timberwolves. Who they followed that
Yeah,
up
who's
with?
the other guy they picked?
Terrence Shannon Jr., which was also like a
What a
bread
duo.
and butter fit that
What a
I
duo.
absolutely loved because of what Terrence Shannon Jr. represents in his game. But seeing what they did obviously goes ahead. They're preparing for the post like Mike Conley era.
Yeah.
And Mike Conley, 6'1" guard, and he can go ahead and provide you very stable offense. He can get Rudy Gobert in the right place. And he knows how things operate. He's the most savvy veteran that you can get right now. But father time is father time. And as we all know, it seems to be undefeated unless he's like facing LeBron James or whatever. That random LeBron James lazy like that. So yeah, I think at this point in time, they just need to go ahead and develop Rob Dillingham and Terrence
You
Shannon.
lobbed a
at this point.
glaze. Like what a sentence.
You're a Lakers fan. I'm trying to support you right now.
Did you know that Dalton Connect was a Laker?
Grow up.
By the way, did you know?
You're gonna make
What's the next
me
team?
be a Dalton Connect hater.
But no, I think that honestly, the Timberwolves, their biggest issue, their biggest weakness was bench creation and just creation in general outside of Anthony Edwards on ball, particularly from the perimeter. And they fixed that last night. Rob Dillingham, I think, will contribute right away. They said it last night in the press conference, he's gonna be in the rotation. He's gonna have an opportunity to produce big time and get the minutes. As a 6-man spark plug, awesome. We'll see what Shannon Jr. can do long term. Awesome. Because I was gonna say they need another wing. They got him. Like at this point now, it's just retain your guys and have continuity. Like I don't really feel like they have any big issues anymore.
Are
Yeah.
they complete?
They were already basically complete. They just had like, small things that made them not be the best team in the West. Clearly, as a matchup issue though, I have no more issues whatsoever top down.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool if Jaden McDaniels could go ahead and develop a little bit more offensively. You're not asking him to be like a 15, 16 point per game scorer, but hit your little threes
Yeah,
more
yeah,
consistently.
it would be
whatnot,
dope,
and
but
that'll be cool.
in terms of
But,
weakness,
yeah, all the pressure right now is on these rookies, and now also Anthony. Obviously, Anthony Edwards has to continue to develop. We all assume that he's going to do so. But yeah, all the pressure right now is on these rookies as they go ahead and start to turn the corner into this next phase of Minnesota basketball, which is just like being consistent, being known, and being around. And in order to do that, you have to hit on your draft picks.
Yep, there you go. The first team with no weaknesses. Crazy.
Wow.
I think we might be talking about this. Actually, never mind. I'm not say that. I almost thought that. The Oklahoma City Thunder is the last team in this division.
That's me.
Who do they have? What's their weakness?
I'm only spending 30 seconds on this because we've said it a million times and we're going to keep saying it until it happens. Go get a backup big.
Yep.
Go get a backup big. They drafted, right? They drafted for playmaking, right? They drafted for extra guard depth. Please go get a backup big. That's all I have to say.
Exactly. Their rotation is almost perfect. They traded for 2 guys that are projects long-term view, which I think is very smart given the fact that the rotation is already perfect. Literally, just sign Andre Drummond and we're cooking. That's all you need to do. Get a backup big that is not big Jalen Williams, and you're fine.
Please.
I think y'all hit it on the money. What's next?
Yeah. Last division, the Atlantic. 76ers. What is the 76ers' biggest issue? This is my team. I wrote spend that bread. Their biggest weakness is they have a lot of cap space and they got to find a way to use it. Because they are a team with a good foundation. They got the MVP. They got the MVP sidekick in Tyrese Maxey. I think they have the bird rights for Kelly Oubre if he's a free agent. I think he is. They have Buddy Hield's bird rights. What were you going to say?
They drafted McCain last
They drafted
night.
Jared McCain, right? They have a foundation of something that's working. They have so much money to spend. We thought it was going to be Paul George coming to this team. They put out in the media that they're not really rocking with him like that anymore. They're not really interested. We'll see if that becomes something. They're going to throw a bag, potentially, at OG Anunoby. We'll see if he takes it. Oh, I forgot. No, he re-signed with the Knicks already. Never mind.
Yeah.
But
Opposites are running low.
I don't know who's available anymore, but they have money to spend, and they need to spend it. Because they didn't buy last deadline because they wanted to maintain this flexibility. This is why you do that and why you're patient. Because now they have to spend that money and have to compete next year.
Yeah, options are running really low for them now that OG got re-signed, and who knows if they're in the running for Paul George anymore because those talks have since then simmered down a little bit. But if that's not the case, then again, Brandon Ingram would legitimately be a great option for this team.
Yeah, definitely.
But sign and trade talks become a little bit more complicated because then who are your pieces? You want to re-sign Tobias Harris and trade him over there? Would the
He's not coming
New Orleans
back.
Pelicans
He is not.
want
Tobias
to
Harris
be
will not be
a
on
part of the
team.
Pelicans? It's tough. It's tough at this point in time.
Klay
But
Thompson, get ready to speak Philly cheesesteak. That's what we're saying here.
yeah, exactly. That's probably the option at this point in time.
What a grim world. You pass up on OG and Pascal Siakam to wait for Klay Thompson. Wow, what a world we live in.
Tough.
Very tough. Gary Trent Jr., I hear he's an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, and he's one of the best in the league when it comes to
what am I talking
knocking
about?
down your open threes.
My bad. They're gonna throw KCP $25 million a year and call it a day.
That'll be. That's not bad. That's
Not
not
bad at all.
bad. That's not bad. That's not bad.
And listen, I was joking, but like Klay Thompson, if you have the money to spend, bring in Klay. Never mind. Fuck it. Gary Trent though. Gary Trent and KCP on the wings. Jared McCain.
Okay.
Gary Trent would be cool off the bench for sure.
We can work with that.
This team has no stability.
The opposite.
They waited too long. Tragic.
Yeah, but again, they have so much uncertainty and so much can change in this roster that it's hard to identify like a specific on-court weakness because they just got to change their team. They just got to use their assets.
Yeah, and right behind that too, Joel Embiid just needs to stay healthy at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how much you change your team; it all falls on him and his health.
Who has the Knicks? I wonder.
Obviously.
Nobody. Damn, we got to skip this. Tragic.
Guess who
All right,
made the
so
list?
who has the Celtics?
Oh no, I'd rather talk about the Knicks.
No, okay, so the Knicks, obviously, just traded from Mikal Bridges,
Yes.
are loaded, just did some good, smart, savvy draft night moves. What is their biggest remaining weakness that they need to address this offseason?
So I said that I would like them to get a backup big because I'm anticipating Isaiah Hartenstein not being there next year. So I would like a backup big, and I would like just a little bit more like scoring depth, guard depth, a little bit. I like Deuce McBride, not a pure point guard. Now the Knicks did just draft Tyler Kolek, who can come in and be a backup point guard. So at this point, figure out what we're doing with Hartenstein. If he's gone, go get a replacement. If not, we have no weaknesses, and we're gonna.
The funniest trade just happened.
What just happened?
The Spurs had the 35th pick, and the Pacers had 36. The Pacers traded up to 35, one spot, and gave the Spurs cash considerations to move up one spot and pick Johnny Furphy. So they're like, listen, I don't know if you want this guy, but we're going to pay you. Here's $400,000. Let us pick him. And the Spurs were like, all right, bet. We'll go back one spot.
Wow.
Good job for San Antonio.
Okay.
Good job getting your $500,000.
Okay, nice. That pays the bills for like a month for them. Nice.
Get a bag.
It does not fucking matter. But yeah, man. So what were you saying? So back a big. I don't even know if it's guaranteed they're gonna lose Hardenstein. You've been trying to say that because you're trying to jinx it and you want to like be prepared for the worst mentally. They might just keep him and they might be completely fine.
Well, listen, that could happen, but seeing the OG number, I was like, okay, like it might happen because I'm expecting somebody else to be smart and at least like test the Knicks and be like, if y'all want Hartenstein, you guys can have him. You're gonna have to match this offer.
Yeah.
And one team, like for the amount of offensive rebounding that Hartenstein can provide and his ability to pass and keep the ball moving as a big, that's very valuable. And so if somebody like the Oklahoma City Thunder, if they wanted to go out and give Hartenstein a bag, that would be amazing for them, right? I think that somebody in the league is going to try the Knicks, and they're not just going to let Hartenstein walk back into this rotation.
Yeah. We'll see. Our next team, we got 3 left in this division. The Nets is my team. I wrote tank harder and trade all those assets. That's what they got to do. Their biggest weakness is they still have Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith in this roster.
Yeah.
We talked about at the top of the show. We mentioned the trade. Commit, right? They got the 25 and 26 pick back.
To the bit.
You don't trade Mikal Bridges unless you're willing to tank. And they just got to do that. They just got to rip this shit down.
Yeah, exactly.
Give the ball to Cam Thomas more.
Yeah.
Play him 40 minutes a game. 45. Screw it.
40 shots a game.
I love it.
Give him the worst habits imaginable. So whoever you trade him to in 2 years just has the most unproductive player ever because you let him shoot the ball 40 times a night. Sabotage the next guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Jalen Green would love to be in Brooklyn.
All right, we can move on. We talked about the Nets at length. Start the show. We don't got to go deeper into them. The Raptors.
I have the Toronto Raptors. They're in an interesting position because obviously they didn't get to select in the lottery, but this team right here went ahead and made their move with Emmanuel quickly already, and they just need to go ahead and prioritize him. But more so, like holistically speaking, for this team, they just need to continue to find their guys and figure out who is literally going to be long term for this team. Because RJ Barrett is cool, and we saw him go ahead and transform his game in this new motion offense that prioritizes ball or spacing and movement and all that other stuff.
Movement.
But, we need to see consistency. We need to know who the guys are alongside Scotty Barnes. And right now, we're not 100% sure other than like IQ, who's great.
Yeah. I don't have much to say about them. I don't know. They're in a weird spot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also like the draft pick. They picked
Jacoby.
Jacoby Walter.
Yeah.
You got some shooting to play alongside Emmanuel quickly and Scotty Barnes. Like they kind of seem on track right now. Like it's not really a problem. We just kind of have to see what's gonna happen.
You gotta be real patient, right? They're in a rebuild that doesn't have some of their picks because of some really stupid moves they made to get Jacopoto and whatnot.
That was so dumb.
Jacopo.
Ridiculously
That's
dumb.
crazy. Yeah.
Could have been Rob Dillingham on this team.
Yeah.
But yeah, with them it's just wait and see, right? Keep building the right way. Do smart stuff like acquire an RJ Barrett and rehabilitate him. Do all that stuff that you've been doing and just keep it up.
Yeah. Last team. Who is it?
The Celtics.
I have the Boston Celtics, and we can keep this on really short because they went ahead and did what they needed to do already. They re-signed Drew Holiday in the middle of the playoffs. They're gonna go ahead and pay Derek White what he deserves, a massive bag. Jason
Welcome
Tatum,
to TikTok
Jaylen
time.
Brown's already there, bro. Crown Eaters, let's rejoice. Let's get straight to it.
Welcome to TikTok time.
We're back
Crown Eaters rejoice. As we have as of late, as usual, we're gonna start with the draft. And today we're gonna do a 24 NBA draft.
Ooh, so we're drafting all these new school rookies.
Exactly. Players we
like
haven't watched play a single game in the NBA, but we're gonna try and draft NBA lineups with only guys who were just selected this week.
Ooh, Bronny James.
I like that.
You're on watch for me.
So yeah, the draft order is Donovan, me, Mo. Real simple. You guys know how it works by now. Let's draft NBA lineups with only 2024 NBA draft picks. Donovan, who's up first?
Listen, none of these dudes can shoot, so I'm gonna get the shooter in the draft. Give me Reed Shepherd.
Oh, you just ruined my plan.
I need Reed Shepherd on my team.
God damn.
We're gonna put Reed Shepherd at the 2 right now.
You know what? Okay. That's fine. I'm gonna pick the biggest competitive advantage that none of you guys have a guy to answer for.
Zach Edey.
Give me Zach Edey.
Of course. This dude's
Give
the
me Zach
biggest
Edey.
Zach Edey bunch that I know right
He's
now.
22.
Holy
He's the best
cow.
player on the board right now. None of you guys
Okay.
have a player that can guard him.
No shame.
Okay, don't need to guard him. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and suck the real #1 overall pick. Alex Sarr, you're an Atlanta Hawk in my draft. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. So after Alex Sarr, snake draft, of course, going to loop around. I think I want someone who's going to give Zach Edey absolute hell. Pick and roll every single time. Rob Dillingham, you are my point guard.
Whoever offense on Rob. ISO, get his
Right.
ass.
I got Alex Sarr in the background. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Give me the guy that can lock him down in his sleep. Stephon Castle, my point guard.
Okay.
I can't let you pick Castle.
I know.
That'd be ridiculous.
That's what I was trying to do. That's what I was trying to do.
You go ahead and take Klingon.
That's what I was trying to do. Exactly. Give me Klingon at my center.
Yep.
I'm gonna get the only guy who can go toe to toe with Edey. I'll take Klingon at my center, and then, you know what? Give me an athlete. Give me my favorite prospect of this draft. Give me Ron Holland.
Ooh, okay.
Gonna put Ron Holland at the 3 right now.
That's a 3. Oh, we're throwing up bricks. Let's do it.
At the 3.
Okay. Give me the #1 pick. Give me Reese Shea at my 3. Why are we letting this guy fall?
Take Harrison Barnes. That's fine.
Give me Harrison Barnes. If Harrison Barnes is in this list, he'd cook all these guys. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
You just got 20 minutes ago. You said Harrison Barnes was one of the worst starters.
How do you believe that?
We love it. We love it.
So
we love
good.
it. All right. So at my 2, I got Rob. I got Alex Sarr. Go ahead and give me another strong shooter. I'm sniping you right now. Give me Jared McCain at my 2.
You think you're sniping me? You can have him.
Yeah, bro. I got an all-around game. I can go ahead and defend the paint with Alex Sarr. I can go ahead and I have so much creation in the perimeter with Rob, and I can make fire TikToks with Jared too. You can't do that.
I dare you to try to switch the screen when I put Zach Edey in pick and roll. Whoever offense on either of these guards.
Oh, you're tripping. You're genuinely tripping right there. Jared McCain is so solid.
Yeah, or Zach Edey's down low. You're gonna have to switch.
Oh, trust me. He can't keep up.
Who's your next pick?
So for my next pick, I need a 4. Well, I don't need a 4 necessarily, but someone who I want to go ahead and give me even more spacing, because I am stretching you out. So go ahead and give me Connect. Give me your guy, Connect.
That's your 4?
No, I'm having him at my 3.
Oh, okay.
I'm having him at my 3 for sure.
That was kind of crazy.
Hey, yo.
That was
What do
kind
you
of
mean?
wild.
I'm stretching
We're
you
talking about
out.
basketball.
Okay. Well, I was definitely gonna pick him next. Tragic. Go ahead and give me Buzelis at my power forward. Give me best player available.
That's solid. That's solid.
Okay.
I got length and defensive versatility around Zach Edey.
Shoot, you're throwing up so many bricks though.
Hey, I reached a Shea. I got one more spot left for a
You know
shooter.
what?
Oh, nice, Matt Barnes.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. right? We're gonna put Ron Holland at the 4. We're gonna put Ron Holland at the power forward because at 3, give me Cody Williams.
Oh, damn.
And then at my point guard position, see, this is interesting because I have 2 ways that I can go. Give me the guy who I think should not have fallen as far as he did last night.
Bronny James?
Give me Isaiah Collier as my point guard.
Ooh, okay.
Nice.
Him and Reed is nice. Okay,
It's a
so
great fit.
I got hella size, hella defense. I need spacing and off the dribble creation. Give me one Carlton Carrington at my shooting guard.
Who?
Bub Carrington.
Thank you.
There we go. One of the best names.
I just want to say Carlton because it's a funny name.
I like that.
Give me a little bit of Bub.
Okay, you did that really bad. Your team is wonky, not gonna lie to you.
No, it's
but
not. My team's the least wonky.
your team is definitely wonky, bro.
I got 3 6'7" defenders.
Anyways,
off the dribble
for my
shooter and Zach
fourth
Edey.
pick at the 4, go ahead and give me Deron Holmes. I need his spacing. I value that hella. Obviously, I have so much versatility on my team. I like the way we're playing right
Your team
now.
is tiny.
It is.
You have
Team
no
is food.
spacing. You have
I
no
have
spacing.
my spacing is just fine.
Who's the second best shooter on your team?
Bub Carrington.
I don't.
Yeah, you're speechless. You lost.
No,
You can't say anything.
No,
You can't say anything.
No.
Once again, your team is the worst.
There you go.
My team is the worst.
You fumbled
It's
Alex
not
Sarr.
better than my team.
You fumbled Alex Sarr just
I have
like Hawks
dogs.
did.
I have
Oh
dogs
no,
on my
y'all
team.
outrageous. My team is actually nice, bro.
I mean, they're all
We complement
fine.
each other really well. What are you talking about?
Me and Donovan are cooking for the best team. I don't know who.
Yeah,
I really wanted Reed Shepard, but
I had to. This is a premium.
I think you messed up picking Connect and McCain. I think you should have picked Connect plus Cody Williams. Then I would have liked your team a little more.
Oh no, I gotta have them connect on my team. Lakers tax. I know the fans.
Well, you should have took off McCain. He's playing to the crowd.
No.
Boo this man.
Yeah, you lost.
Okay, listen, you can't win them all.
I got the 3rd pick, bro. I always get screwed.
You got Alex Sarr out of it though.
I got Alex Sarr for sure, but
You should have picked Sarr and Ricochet. You lost your emotions.
why are you GMing my team right now? Mind your business.
My bad. I'll let you sell. I like it. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna stick on the topic of the draft. You know, like I said, we had the big draft stream last night. Go watch it if you want to see our full reaction to every single pick. It was great. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna grade the top 10 picks in the NBA draft. I would do 1 through 30, but we don't got time for all that. It's gonna be a 4-hour podcast.
1 through 30 will be nuts.
It would be sick, but we don't have
Yeah.
time for that today. So the top 10 plus a couple other extra picks I thought were worth talking about. We're gonna grade them. So real simple. Let's grade these NBA draft picks. First off, we got the Hawks picking Ricochet at 1.
I can't give this an F because this is the guy who they wanted since day 1, apparently.
You look like you're giving it an F when you're on Hustle Highlights crying.
I wasn't crying. Those were tears of joy. You don't know how to read emotions. That is the issue, my brother. I would go ahead and give this a solid C for sure
C.
because when you think about number 1 overall picks, they do not match his profile and what the Hawks project him to be.
Man, that shit is so dire and lazy to me. I'll give this an A. They needed players that can fit with Trae Young. They're not a normal team picking at 1. They have a star. You're
I
not going
disagree
just
with
best
lazy.
player available. You're not rebuilding. This guy fits with every team you want. He's a big wing that can shoot. We pretend it's not valuable all of a sudden because it's not a Paolo Banchero pick. There's no Wemby in this draft. This is a perfectly fine pick for a team that's trying to win now.
I think if that's the case, then you go ahead and clearly trade back and you get as much assets as possible. Then, that's the right way to go ahead.
Get back to what, 2?
Trade back to whatever it is you want because you can go ahead and settle for players who are similar archetypes as him.
There's
and
a
still
reason
get what
every
you
team
want.
was trying to pick this guy top 2. He's going to be valuable and he's going to be good.
He's going to be good for sure, but I think there's other ways to go ahead and achieve the skill sets that you want. But I still think he's going to be good. I just personally will give this like a solid
6'9",
C.
great shooters don't grow on trees. I don't know if there is any other ways to achieve that.
I'm giving this a C because
Haters.
It's a number 1 overall pick. I think you're undermining
Emotions
what
guiding
a
you.
true number.
no, it's
not
also,
emotions. It's a number 1 overall pick.
emotion.
That's just straight emotion.
It's clearly
It's a number 1
it's the
overall pick.
backup plan. That's what it is. Because if the Hawks really had their pick, right? If Alex Sarr didn't dump him before the draft, they would have taken him. But Alex Sarr was like, "Nah, I'm actually good," and they
If
were like, "Okay."
wanted him, they could take him.
You went to their second option because you were scared about Alex Sarr, and it's okay. So it is what
Alex
it is.
Sarr is not Eli Manning.
C plus.
He's not going to demand a trade if you pick him. They could have picked Sarr if they really believed in him, and I think they just liked the 6'9" shooter that doesn't grow on trees more.
That's what they told themselves. I bet you they feel the same way. They were like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I like him as a prospect overall because every single team would literally thrive with him on the roster. But when you just think about a number 1 overall pick and what it's supposed to
That doesn't mean
represent,
anything. That means nothing.
If it means nothing, then we won't have picks in the draft. What are you talking about? Number one pick, there's value to that because you have first dibs on picking someone who can genuinely change your franchise. And this guy right here is not.
Nobody in this draft is changing your franchise. Is the problem?
Players could. You never know. What do you mean? You're
This is
speaking
a
too
perfectly
soon.
fine bet.
You're speaking too soon, and I disagree with
And
that.
you're speaking too soon on Ricochet. I think.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying this is a solid C. It's not A like you're making.
It is not. It's not.
Yeah, you're
It's
saying
not
A that
perfectly
you're
fine,
blowing it right
It's
now.
not A.
the
Though.
perfectly B plus, whatever you want to call it. This is a perfectly fine pick.
He
It's
also
a fine
has
pick.
no swagger. Like the suits.
All right.
So I'm dropping him down just for
My
that.
bad. I didn't
Yeah,
quite
Come
for
on.
aura in my pick.
Come on.
Yeah, no.
Next pick, Alex Sarr going number 2.
This is an A. This is the easy A. I mean, you have no one competing for his minutes. You have someone who, again, matches a profile, what they're tending to go for: length, tall, French. There you go. He's your guy.
Yeah,
French is on their scouting report for sure.
Or, bro.
I'm
Of course,
going
bro.
I'm going A because this is a really good combination of best player available and fit with our roster right now. Obviously, the Wizards are in the rebuild. Everybody fits.
Yeah.
But like to have a good foundation defensively is really important. And so I think that this is a good pick for them.
Yeah. They were in the perfect scenario. There's 2 elite guys at the top everybody wants that are valuable in their roles. You get whichever one isn't pick number 1. You have no stress in your life because you pick whoever's left for you. Got to be an A.
Exactly. No pressure. So good pick. Good job, Washington.
Look at you.
You guys were aggressive all night.
Yep. Number 3, Reed Shepherd going to the Houston Rockets.
Is this a back-to-back A?
For me, this is a 3-peat. Another A. This is the clearest prospect pick in the draft. They have a million guys down the roster. There's so many prospects on the Rockets right now. You don't know who's going to rise to the cream of the crop, but whoever it is, I guarantee you Reed Shepherd will fit well with them. He fits well with everybody.
If anybody was going to come into the league immediately and perform, Reed Shepherd has to be on the short list of guys. Like he's a shooter and shoot, and he's going to go in and help the Rockets and improve their shooting in the backcourt. Not potentially, he will be a piece for them to build on in the future. It's going to be good.
Yeah, when your best players is a post hub, picking a DHO hub guy like Sengun, and then athletic guards, picking the best shooter in the draft is easy.
And if you're a team like the Houston Rockets, which apparently don't know if he's genuinely the guy for the future, Sengun, you can do whatever you want. Whatever plan you envision them leaning towards in the future, Reed Shepherd is applicable to every single plan.
Exactly. Next up, at number 4, Stephon Castle going to the Spurs.
Solid B, could call it an A. I might call it an A because of who the Spurs are and what they value. Size, defense, obviously, that comes first and foremost because they don't believe they can get far without that. So
Yeah.
I call this an A for sure.
I'll go B. There's a world where Stephon Castle's made it clear he wants to be a point guard. If that works out well and he can be your lead playmaker, this becomes an A because we're looking at Drew Holiday. But there's some concerns about the shot, the playmaking, the first step. That's enough to weigh down to B to me. He has a high floor, but the ceiling is still TBD.
They needed anybody who can bring the ball up 94 feet. Stephon Castle can at least do
He
that.
can dribble, all right.
I think this is an A. I think it's an A.
No, bro, if that shot comes around, this is Drew Holiday. This guy is going to be so good.
This is a solid A. Even if the shot never comes around, he's still going to be a very productive NBA player. Don't know if he'll be able to maintain the starter status or whatever. But even without the shot, he possibly could, depending on the rest of the construction of the roster.
Sounds like a B to me. High floor, but the ceiling is TBD.
I give it a B plus.
Fair enough. Number 5, we got Ron Holland going to the Pistons. Unexpected, but kind of dope.
Listen, I'm happy for Ron Holland because I like him as a prospect. The fit is going to be crazy. Nobody can shoot in Detroit. Just like for everybody in this draft, if the shot comes around, this is A+.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how this is going to work with him, Ivy, Cunningham, all the guys over there in Detroit. So I'll give them an A- because they still did get the best player available
For sure.
at 5.
Him and Asar might be generational clamps, but it also might be generational ass if neither of them learn how to shoot because you cannot play them together.
Yeah.
So we're swinging for home runs here. This might be amazing or it might be a total flop.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I would go ahead and give this a B. You got, of course, Asar, Jaden Ivey, Duran. Like you said, a
Don't
whole
even
lot of
like Duran like
non-shooters. Yeah, you're right. But he looks cool, though. And
Real jacked, nice
Right.
shoulders.
okay.
He passed the aura test.
Reminiscent of Andre Drummond, I guess.
Yeah, we were like, oh, he's got giant shoulders. Dwight Howard. That's the scouting report.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. They have a lot of guys that can't shoot, but not all those guys are worth prioritizing. So if you can get the best player on the board right now that was slipping for no reason, you take him.
Yeah.
I go A- with you. Next up, at number 6, Tijon Salon going to the Hornets.
They needed a difference maker, like pretty much day one, if not already, bro. I don't like this because he's clearly a project pick. He shot like 37% in his last basketball league from the field, 32% from three. Scary hours, if you ask me.
I'm going F. I think this pick was horrendous. Not that there's a world where he can be a good player. If he can, the shot stays around. If he can shoot threes at that 6'9" frame with a huge wingspan and can harness that athleticism defensively, he can be a good player. He can also be Kevin Knox. And I think you can take that swing, but if you're going to do it, trade back. He would have been there at 10. He might have been there at 14. Picking him at 6 when you know damn well he wasn't going to go at 6 or at 7 or 8 if you passed up on him, to me, it's malpractice, and you could have got more value out of this pick.
Yeah, this isn't about him.
Exactly.
Right? It's more about the Hornets needing somebody who can come in day one and produce for them. And
it's just where he was picked. Like, if you're going to take a swing, don't take the swing at 6.
Yeah, he very well could be a great player later on in the future, but it doesn't matter. At this point in time, it's about the decision behind the idea to go ahead and take someone like him. It's the decision, the idea that they were brewing in their head.
And they allegedly turned down more assets to make this pick.
Yeah. Yeah, Woj said the Trailblazers were trying to trade up to pick Klingon. They picked Klingon next. So that means they called and were like, hey, we want to go to 6. We want our guy. And they were like, no, you're good. We're not going to take him.
Don't worry about it. You're good, bro.
You're chilling. Like, what kind of stupid ass GMing is that?
Yeah.
It's dumb. So I'll go D.
Yeah, I'll go D because the player within itself
I don't want to be too mean.
but it's not about him.
That's
Again,
fair.
It's about the
I just hate bad process, and that's horrendous process to not trade back a little bit at least and get some kind of asset.
They had the opportunity. It's just classic
I'm a fan
Hornets.
of big swings, so I don't hate taking him. It's just the value proposition is not there at number 6.
I agree.
Now number 7, we got Donovan Klingon going to the Blazers.
It's an A for me. I really like this pick for Portland. I think that for a team that is still in the rebuild and you have a lot of assets on your team with contracts that are tradable and that can help other people, Klingon can shore up your big rotation and he can be a great defender day one. And it allows you to be more flexible with the rest of your roster to go get more assets to keep your rebuild going.
Exactly.
I like it.
And yeah, it makes it so you can immediately trade Ayton and Robert Williams because you have your big of the future. You can get more assets, get more young guys. They're going to be able to be big sellers at the deadline, and that alone makes them in a really great position. If he can be this Rudy Gobert Redux clone, then even better.
I agree. This is not a bad pick at all, bro. Again, consolidate. They're going to have to make consolidation trades like you said. There's no way this pick ends up being bad in any light.
Yeah, he might be the highest floor prospect in this draft. He's going to be a good rim protector, probably no matter what.
Somebody in the West has to stop Zach Edey, so.
Exactly.
The Blazers got their guy.
Please!
Number 8, we have Rob Dillingham going to the Minnesota Timberwolves via trade from the Spurs.
The Timberwolves just made the Western Conference Finals.
Oh my
and
God.
they selected a top 10 pick. It's an A. It's an A.
Immediate A. This is what you do when you're a contending team and you have future assets. You cash them in now, get better, but also getting younger and having longevity to your core now that he can replace Mike Conley in a couple years and he retires. A+++. This is an amazing deal.
Your starting point guard is 65 years old. You needed a backup plan, and they went out and they got it.
This is quite literally like a great way to go ahead and usher in the next generation. And speaking of the next generation, I'm not gonna lie, I'm calling it out right now. Rob and Anthony Edwards, they're gonna get glazed to oblivion.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's gonna be nasty.
What are they gonna call them? Is it like I'm thinking of like Disgusting Brothers from Secession? They're like the Aura Brothers.
Yeah.
They're calling,
We'll think of something.
they're calling Dillingham Dilly right now, which is kind of hard.
We will have a name by the end of the summer.
We'll get our bag a little bit. Yeah, man, it's a great deal. Number 9, Zach Edey going to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Take the floor.
Go ahead.
This is a steal of the draft. A++. It's going to be a star. I love it. No, but in all seriousness, this is a great pick. You have an interior force that has some of the most strengths we've seen from a prospect in a long time, and you have the perfect big next to him to hide his weaknesses. It's a home run swing for me. I think it's great.
I absolutely agree, bro.
Good job. This is your guy. You can have the floor.
I love Zach Edey.
Ja Morant is going to love this dude, love all the escape passes when he has nothing to do, when he's just caught up in the paint, just throw it somewhere like you said. Zach Edey is there.
The Grizzlies are going to be one of the best teams in the NBA, and we're going to look back in a couple of years and be like, how'd this happen? It's because we let Zach Edey fall to them.
Thanks.
Them screens, man. Damn.
Those screens, those offensive rebounds, those rolls to the rim, those post-ups. He's gonna be a better shot blocker in the NBA than he was in college. He's gonna be great.
I agree.
Man, the Grizzlies are gonna be in the conference finals next year.
They are.
They're gonna be amazing.
Top 2 seed in the Western Conference.
It's them and the Thunder, I think, and the Nuggets. Obviously, that's the top tier.
God, man.
Next pick at number 10. Who at number 10? I forgot. Oh yeah, we have Cody Williams going to the Utah Jazz.
The Utah Jazz.
This is an A.
Quiet winners of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? It's for me. It's either them or Minnesota in terms of winners, and they addressed a whole bunch of needs. They got a lot of talent. Cody Williams is a great player. We believe in the entire Williams family, right? We're big J-Dub fans over here. We're big C-Dub fans now.
Yep.
Good job for Utah. I like this pick. A.
Dub Nation.
Yeah, there's no way in hell that this pick right here ends up being bad in any light. Even if he doesn't reach up to his potential, the cutting's still there. The defense that he could possibly grow into is going to be valuable, and the shot eventually, you have to predict, is going to come around. So
I feel like I'm giving everybody an A. Like, somebody's not going to hit. I don't know. It's not going to be Cody Williams, though. This guy, I think, is really good. Got slept on a little bit because of strength concerns. People saw he's really light, really skinny. And they're like, oh, God, I don't know if I can pick him that high.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll add on weight just fine. I'm not concerned about that at all. He's an efficient scorer. Could be a good defender with that length. It fits perfectly next to somebody like Larry Markkinen.
exactly, I 100% agree.
Damn, A's on A's. Tough. Number 11. Modest Buzelis going to the Chicago Bulls.
I'm sorry, it's an A. It's an A. They were able to get the best player available. This is a guy who was mocked to go 5, and they got him at 11. Right? You got him in the second half of the lottery, and for the Bulls, hometown kid, somebody who also, if the shot comes around, can be amazing. But even if the shot doesn't become Steph Curry-like or elite shooting, Modest still does a lot of really, really good things. And you just need new, interesting pieces in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, I'll give it an A.
And nobody in the top of the draft fumbled. Everybody did what they're supposed to do. Like,
Except for Charlotte.
Yeah.
my bad. I forgot we shit on Charlotte. But
Yeah.
outside of that, and listen, we didn't grade the Spurs for trading out of 8. That's debatable if that was a good move or not. But almost everybody did some good moves up here.
Usually the Chicago Bulls end up doing the stupidest thing that you can imagine. Every single time, they never let us down. They're so consistent when it comes to doing that. But this decision right here was generally a great one because, of course, like the length is there for him. If the shot comes around, we're having entirely different conversations about him, and we're gonna look back in the draft and talk about how he should have been top 3, minimum.
I'll go B+ though because he's a boomer bust player, and they're in such a weird spot with the organization. Who knows if they're thinking long term or short term right now? If Modest can shoot, star in the making probably. Good chance he can't shoot. If you can't shoot, you just traded for Josh Giddey. You already got Kobe White who has to play on ball. If he can't shoot, you're looking at somebody who's gonna have a hard time fitting next to your other young pieces. So it's enough of a swing that I'll go B.
He's just Lamar Odom.
Yeah, type shit.
Yeah.
Lamar Odom would not be a good fit with Josh Giddey and Kobe White. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We should not be making decisions about our future
You're goddamn right.
centered around Josh Giddey.
You're goddamn right. We should. And they're not. That's why they picked him. Yeah, one more pick I want to throw on here. Steal the draft. Dalton Connect going at 17 to the Lakers. What are we grading this?
I mean, this has to be an A because he, again, was projected to be like a back-end lottery talent. But I'll let you go ahead and take it. What do you think?
I just think this is going to be the next great white shooter in NBA history. I think we drafted potentially the GOAT, potentially JJ Redick with HGH hormones. I think we just transform our team overnight. We have the savior, honestly. I think it's up from here. Him and Austin Reeves are going to be...
Savior's crazy.
The savior.
Him and Austin Reeves are going to transform this team together, hand in hand. Disgusting brothers. It's going well.
Oh, man, this is going to be white boy summer for real. You lit right now.
No, I mean, he's obviously great. The Lakers had zero connection to Dalton Connect in their scouting department because they did not think this guy would be available. They were blessed to have him fall to 17 in a way they never expected. He's the immediate fit. They needed shooting and they needed backup big. They fixed one of those right now with one of the most dynamic shooters in the draft who could contribute immediately given his age. You have JJ Redick there, who is the preeminent off-screen shooter of the last 15 years in the NBA. He can draw up plays to fit this guy perfectly. It's a hand-in-glove fit.
I'm proud of you. You no longer don't have to watch Cam Reddish minutes anymore. I went through that same pain and struggle.
So did he.
Oh, you did? Damn. Oh, my God. Trifecta. That's crazy.
Cam
You
Reddish
no
is
longer
going team by team at the Grim Reaper.
also have to watch Rui Hachimura minutes, at least not as much of it this upcoming season.
I know I will. That's not changing here.
JJ Redick will do his thing, and it looks going to be on the side.
And we got JJ, we got Austin Reeves, we got Connect. We're trusting him.
Who's next?
We're trusting him. All right, this is the last one of this segment. Next thing we're gonna do. We talk a lot every year about the NBA City jerseys, and we grade them to start the year. And typically, we don't like them as of late. I was looking back at previous years. There's some years we had some good City jerseys. The past 2 years have been so astronomically shit that we've kind of forgotten about that.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna show you guys 2 City jerseys from over the years. You're gonna tell me which one was better.
Okay.
So we're like 5 years
Making
into
our
this
jersey
experiment. We got a lot to choose from. So, real simple. Which one looks better? First off, we got the Boston Celtics versus the Bulls.
See, I actually
These
I
both.
like the Celtics one.
What?
I actually do. I think it's much better than the Bulls jersey.
He
Are
just
you the
showed
Lucky
us-
Charms mascot? Why?
just
what
showed
do
his
you
true
mean you
colors.
like this one.
He's a Hogwarts fiend. That's what it is.
This man's a Slytherin.
Yeah.
This Bulls jersey is a Kool-Aid jersey, bro.
His last name is O'Malley.
I do not like it. I don't like the big logo. The big logo out front with the small number in the front. That's not my vibe.
No, these are both horrible. I don't even care which one you pick, honestly. These are both atrocious. The Bulls one looks like you get it at a team store, one of those fake jerseys. They're like pink or something. That's exactly what that looks like.
Yeah, no, it looks like a lollipop jersey. I don't mess with it at all. I don't mess with either. If you want to go ahead and say the Boston Celtics, cool. I'll let you have it.
I abstain from selecting because I hate both these jerseys so much.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to see who would say something
Why you
first.
put 'em
and
up here?
then
Why you
for
set me up like that?
that. Because you know you'd
I
say
was trying to
something
participate in the game.
I just
I'm
want to
getting
cook you,
slandered.
O'Malley. Next one. We got the New York Knicks versus the Wizards.
It's the next one. It's the next
Ooh,
one.
I don't know about
The
that.
Wizards is cool as hell, though. I'm not
It is,
gonna lie to you.
it is cool. I like the Wizards. They're both good jerseys.
Some of the best of like the recent years.
This Knicks jersey is hard.
I get it. The Knicks is incredibly hard. I love Kith. I'm going Cherry Blossom.
I think this Wizards
You ain't never
jersey.
seen a cherry blossom a day in your life.
I've been to Epcot. I've been to the Japan section of Epcot.
I like the Wizards jersey. It's definitely more unique.
You live there now. It's different.
Hey, just because I live there don't mean I rep DC still. I still keep it on the low. But with that being said, generally speaking, I like Washington. It's innovative considering where they have been.
Bright colors is a big home run swing. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. This one hit. This is an amazing jersey. It's kind of sad that we're never going to see this again, that it's a one-year jersey. It's kind of depressing for Wizards fans.
The NBA need to do something about that rule.
I know. Well, they can't bring it back. Some teams have brought it back before. Bring this one back.
But the Knicks jersey is super dope, super nice.
It's one of the best jerseys in the league.
All right.
I don't know.
Next one.
It is.
Next up, we got the Nets versus the Nets.
Okay, the throwback is better than this one because the black version of this bedside one was hard. And I don't think it said I don't think it said bedside. I think it just said Brooklyn on it. The black version of that is the one that's the one. This throwback, the navy blue, that's fire.
Bro, the Nets had the best jerseys in the NBA for the last 6 years or so. I've been saying it. All of these city jerseys are tough. Pick whichever one you want. I love them both.
I'm not gonna lie. You took me back with the black bedside jersey or Brooklyn jersey back. That was prime D-Lo days. I'm not gonna lie.
That's bench.
Hey, do it again.
That's bench ball.
One more time.
To be honest, I genuinely can't pick because they're both so hard.
No, I'll go navy blue too, but it's tough.
The navy blue is so clean. Not gonna lie to you.
It is. All right, next up, we got the Bucks versus the Hornets. Cream City or CLT?
Clit.
All right, someone said the quiet part out loud.
Come on, man.
I think I want to
so
lean
reliable.
towards. I think I want to lean towards Cream City.
You a big fan? You frequent?
The colors are nice.
That's not what you asked.
And that hint of blue too.
Not even
Super
close to
dope.
what I asked.
Can you answer this question?
And also, I love the font of Cream City.
What is it specifically about Cream City that you enjoy?
Do you go to Cream City often?
I think that this team.
Can you define Cream City in a sentence?
I think that this team and what they.
When was the last time you went to Cream City?
What is Cream City? Yeah, I guess I'll pick Cream City. The CLT jersey, on top of being hilarious, it's ugly as fuck. It's horrible.
It is nasty.
Doesn't it stand for like the Charlotte airport?
Yeah, it should be Charlotte. Ugly as fuck.
Yeah, nah.
Come on,
They
Charlotte.
could have done so many other things.
Why the letters gold? It's terrible.
I think the gold letters ruined this for me for sure.
Yeah. Cream City, you live to fight another day. What's next? We got the Mavs versus the Miami Heat ransom note jersey.
The Miami Heat for sure win this battle.
Do
And
they?
yeah, they do.
All right, we're going mid on mid here. I don't even know. These are both horrible.
They're not mid. They're not mid. It's just bad on bad.
You're right. That's being generous. Especially the Mavs. The Mavs lose. We're going Miami Heat, but we're not feeling good about it because Miami also sucks. But this Mavs jersey very well might be the worst jersey in NBA history.
The Mavs jersey gives me like Subway Surfer vibes. You know that little kid just running? He definitely created this jersey for the Dallas Mavericks.
Is this a Bluey sponsorship? This is ridiculous.
At least with the Heat, like one of the letters is cool on the jersey,
One of the letters?
right? Like
Which one?
They took
The blue one?
Yeah, they took bits and pieces from cool jerseys, and so you can kind of there's just a little bit of it.
That's
It's like 3% cool.
That's a good way to decide it. We got one good letter on the Miami jerseys. We have approximately 0 good letters on the Mavs jersey.
Sorry.
And simple math. 1 is better than 0. We're going Miami.
Going
I can't believe they made Luka Doncic wear this jersey, bro. Burn all those pictures.
forced them.
This is why the KP experiment failed, because last year there. he was
KP
wearing
did
this.
have to wear these, you're right.
Yeah, he didn't like it. He said, ship me out of town.
I don't blame KP.
And he wore the gold ones too. Those are crazy.
Oh, those Lord of the Rings jerseys.
Dallas is weird, man.
Dallas is a horrible organization. All right, next up.
Weird city.
The Spurs versus the Spurs.
They're both super clean. I think I might lean towards the right. This all white, just super clean and super simple. And the font just really suits.
I'm going the white one. I'm not thinking twice about it. This white one is a million times better to me. I hate the font on the front of the Spurs one, and I hate the fact that the collars are all different colors. It's a great concept, but it's doing just a little bit too much.
That's what the Clippers do. I
Yeah.
don't like that.
It's horrible.
You can't have any association with them. I'm going with the white one.
The white one is tough. The white one's is
I do like that
70s throwback. It looks like we work at a record shop. I fuck with it.
I do like that.
Got some bell bottoms on with it.
It looks like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
You get that feeling. I like it.
I don't even remember any players really taking pictures in this blue one for real.
They
Keldon
burned
Johnson was on the front
They
of it.
burned him.
And Derek White.
They burned them. Yeah, let's just go with that. They burned them.
They did the evidence. All right, yeah, we're easily going the white one. Next one, not the last one. Clippers versus Minnesota.
Minnesota wins kind of easily for me.
Really?
I don't think this Minnesota jersey beats anybody easily. It's pretty mid.
I like it.
I like the Clippers. I think you're tripping. I think you're just saying
I just don't like clips. But okay, you're right. The rest of the rest of the jersey is cool. I just
hate the Clippers, but you gotta give it to them.
Yeah.
No, the Clippers one grew on me. I'm not gonna lie. When it first came out, I was like, "What is this toothpaste brand? This is horrible." But it looks really clean on person. The orange stands out well. They have an orange court. The little hints of color really work and really make it look good in person.
Yeah, the Minnesota
Get it in
jersey
the
looks
bag.
like they're quite literally representing like public transportation.
It's a
I
default
don't like those
font when you make a
colors.
PowerPoint or in like Word. That's one
like
of the
it.
few fonts you can change to, and it looks horrible.
It does remind me of like this is like a Casio jersey. You know what I'm saying? It's a very like cassette tape jersey.
That's a
And I
good
like that.
comparison.
When you play 2K My Team and people make custom jerseys and they all look horrendous, that's what it comes out with.
Dang.
Clippers win finally. Wow.
Finally, something good happens to the Clippers. Next up, Bulls versus Pacers. Nice. We got 2 black jerseys. One is not doing enough, and one is doing entirely too much. Where do we pause?
We are going with the Bulls. This Pacers jersey is doing too much. It's doing too much. I don't like the sides of it. The Chicago one is actually passable.
I don't think it is. I think the Chicago one is honestly horrific.
It makes me mad.
Horrific.
The Chicago one makes me mad for sure. I look at
very
the
stupid.
Indiana and I'm like, I see what you were going for. It's not.
At least they
cool,
tried, right?
But
At
I
least
can
they tried.
understand. You know,
At
this
least they
probably
tried.
means a lot to the city of Indiana.
I
Where
doubt
did
it.
we
Chicago?
stray from each other? Because we used to be lockstep, and we don't think the same anymore. And I'm kind of worried.
Changed. No, this Bulls one is fucking
When
dumb.
was it?
There's so much dead space. The alignment is
Exactly.
ridiculous. It's boring. It's ugly. It looks fake. Like many of these other ones look bad. It looks like you get it at Payless. At least Indiana had a vision and they went for it.
Hey, man, RP Payless.
Yeah, Chicago's jersey gives me.
Is Payless dead?
Yeah, I thought they.
No, it's still there.
Is Payless still here?
Yeah.
Hey,
Shout out
we're
Payless.
back up. We're back up.
Yeah, for sure. Tap in for sure. I went there like a couple weeks ago.
No.
Airwalks are still in stock.
Airwalks, what? That's crazy.
Oh no. Shout out Payless. I'm sorry. I'm taking a break. I'm looking at-
Payless near me.
I have to look to see if Payless is still alive.
We're going Indiana.
yeah,
Fuck that
Indiana
Chicago
wins.
jersey.
That's so crazy.
Next up, we got the Orlando Magic versus Minnesota Timberwolves. The Cowboys versus Dirty Sprite 2.
These are both elite jerseys, if you ask me, but I'm leaning with the Minnesota Timberwolves because this is genuinely probably a top 3 jersey in the NBA right now.
I agree. And just why do the Orlando Magic have a Dallas Cowboys jersey? I don't know what we're going for here. It's not ugly, but why is it a Dallas Cowboys jersey?
I have a confession. I hated on these Wolves jerseys at the start. I like them now. I like them now. These are hard. These are hard. I'm going with them. I also can't associate myself with the Dallas Cowboys in any sense of the word. So we're going Minnesota.
Minnesota easily. I love it.
Yeah,
Future jerseys.
we usually don't like the blue and fading into another color, but this
Dirty soda
genuinely, this genuinely gets a pass.
There we go. And that's the last one we got here, city jerseys.
I hate the Cowboys.
Next thing we're going to do, Mo prepared a rankings for us.
Woo.
You were going to rank the top 10 young cores in the NBA post-draft, aren't you?
Yeah, so obviously a few things changed, not too much, but a few things changed, and now we have to go ahead and sit down and reassess which teams in the NBA have one of the better young cores. Not going to say one of the worst, but we're just going to keep it to strictly 10. All right, so
it's really the top 30 league, so it's really the best ones.
yeah, exactly. So I want you guys to go ahead and sit down.
Lock in.
Let me know
I'm
where
sitting down.
my rankings lie.
Okay.
All right.
Who's number 10?
Nice and simple. These are my top 10 NBA young cores.
Okay.
Number 10, we have the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay.
10.
Something just calm.
I need to see who's at 9 before I
Feels a
grade
little bit
that.
low, right?
Yes.
I feel like Scoot and Clean is a good starting point, and you add Sharp. I still got Scoot stock, but I guess if you don't have as much, I can see why you're a little bit lower.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of pieces. You know, they just traded for Denny. Sharp
Exactly.
is still there. Anthony Simon's still there. But there's still so much brewing, and they don't have that guy just yet. Even though they have a couple guys.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not sure Scoot's not that guy yet, but I know other people are a little more concerned.
I got to see it first. I got to see it.
You gotta see something good. We've just seen a bunch of crap. Like, there has to be a slimmer of hope. I understand.
Exactly.
I'm just like
Speaking-
assuming it'll get better, but we haven't seen it.
Yeah. Speaking of something good, the Toronto Raptors, they are at number 9. They have Scotty Barnes, and he's pretty much carrying this because RJ Barrett is there, 24, soon to be 25 years old. Emmanuel Quick is there, and they just selected Jacoby Walter. Good player, but Scotty White. Scotty Barnes is carrying heavy right now.
Yeah, when you got an all-star on your team, you're gonna be a top 10.
Yeah, exactly. No choice.
Not like it's a deep core, but there's an all-star there where most of teams can't say that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, I think I would actually prefer, like if I was starting a team, I would like to have what the Blazers have rather than what the Raptors have. But like you said,
Proof in the pudding.
Scotty's an all-star already. That's what you always build for. Got to take that.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, it's potential versus star in hand already.
Exactly. So number 8, I have the Orlando Magic. For some reason, I really wanted to put them higher, but then I looked at all the
Why
other
are they
teams.
not
They're not higher?
No, they're not. I have them at number 8.
I gotta see who you have above them because they also have an all-star.
Go to 7. Go to 7.
Franz, Suggs. They should be top 5.
Could be top 5, but we'll talk about that. They could be some shifting down. I'm not 100% sold on my list. I was most torn
stand
about the
on it,
Orlando
stand on
Magic. Can't tell me what to do, brother. My knees are weak right now. Just did leg day. So at number 7,
Get off of them.
again, another team with an all-star, the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton's there. He's carrying heavy, of course.
Tripping.
Nemhard is there. Jarris Walker's there, I really love his potential. I got them at 7.
Magic, you're above the Pacers for me, and I'm
You are.
not thinking fucking twice.
You're bugging.
Paolo is just as good of a prospect as Tyrese Halliburton.
Wow.
Franz
Okay.
Wagner, way better than whoever you're putting second on that list. Jalen Suggs, I'm taking over whoever
Yeah, I
you're
would
putting
flip that.
second on that list.
Yeah, I'll flip that. Not gonna flip it now. Too much confusion. But that's what the list came out to so far. I can agree with that.
Your first L, but keep going. We'll see.
Okay.
You can redeem
So,
yourself.
hey, you calling it an L? I can't change my mind?
No, it's
no.
no.
You're standing on it. There's no
Yeah, right. All right. So coming up next, at number 6, the Houston Rockets. They have players on players on players. They're one of the
Whoa.
deepest teams in terms of, just
I need
yet-
these in pairs. You have to start saying 5 and 4. I just need who's ahead of them.
All right, 5 and 6. Pelicans, then under the Pelicans, Houston Rockets.
So Pelicans are 5.
Yeah.
Because Zion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zion carrying heavy, and obviously Herb Jones is there and Trey Murphy.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know his ceiling is.
Yeah, I feel like the Rockets should be higher, but when you tell me the Pelicans are above them, that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I can understand if you want to have the Rockets higher because they just have so many young players.
Yeah.
Sengun, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, of course, we didn't even mention.
They
Amanda
low-key have the
Reed.
deepest young core I've ever seen.
They literally do.
I've never seen a 9-man young core. It's kind of crazy. And we don't know if somebody's going to be as good as Zion yet, but they have so many bets that like I want to take those many swings of the bet.
Mhm.
But I respect it. Zion can be at 5. Who's 4 and 3?
So at number 4, we have the San Antonio Spurs. Carried heavily by Victor Wembanyama, of course. It's Victor Wembanyama,
They're not
bro.
top 3?
They should be top 3,
Okay, what
but
was
I
three?
can't put them 3 just yet. At number 3, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just made the conference finals, being led by Anthony Edwards, who is blossoming right in
He's
front of
young.
our eyes. And then, of course, Rob Dillingham, Jaden McDaniels is there, Nas Reed is there. Pretty deep, proof of concept. They just went to the Western Conference.
Okay.
That's fair. Listen,
It's fair.
I think Wemby will be better than Anthony Edwards long term, but you just named 4 other guys that
that the Spurs don't
I know.
we look at the Spurs.
I know.
Stephon Castle, you
I
might
know.
be Drew Holiday. We'll see. Devin Vassell, you are Devin Vassell. I like you a lot.
And very much, I ain't gonna lie, this season, Wemby could easily leap the Minnesota Timberwolves young core just because he's Wemby and we can't do anything about it. But for now, I'm looking at those other guys like Nas Reed and I'm paying them respect.
Yeah, and they have a guy that we know is already a top 10 player. Listen, Wemby's not far behind, I think, but Anthony Edwards and a good supporting cast earns their spot in the top 4. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. So at number 2, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. Not much needs to be said. Absolutely stacked.
Demon Edie, adding him to already one of the best young
Okay.
cores.
Okay.
John Moran, Jaren Jackson, 24, both all-stars.
This is
bro.
it's not as bad as what I thought it was gonna be.
They got 2 All-Stars, a soon-to-be star in Demon Edie, and Desmond Bain. They're cooking.
Yeah,
This
and we
is
even
one.
talk about Gigi Jackson. We even talk about Vince. Also, bro,
could we not
they're
mention Gigi
crazy.
Jackson?
Yeah, they're crazy. And at number 1 easily has to be the Oklahoma City Thunder, bro. Shay's there, J-Dub, Chet, Kaysen. They just got Topic. I didn't even mention Lou
I forgot
Dort.
about them.
Yeah, they're still there.
Shay's actually too old to be in the young
He's
core.
25.
Okay, typically we do below, but whatever. Shay, Chet, and J-Dub alone is ridiculous. That's a legitimate big 3 of soon-to-be stars. All the guys you mentioned after that, that's crazy to have that after having legitimately 3 stars.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
job. Good job.
Your only fumble was the Magic not being high enough.
Good job.
My bad.
Yeah, me personally, I don't know if I'd want to keep the Toronto Raptors there. I might want to go ahead and kick
You
him
just
off.
gonna take that? You just gonna let him do that?
I don't want to shake his hands. Look at his hands. When's the last time you washed your hands?
Like 20 minutes ago.
You're lying.
Oh,
Wow.
But nah, yeah,
fuck.
I like this list.
yeah. It's crazy that the Hornets aren't on it anymore.
If they would have capitalized on their pick yesterday, then I would feel so much better. But when you're talking about the young core, it's just 2 dudes and one of them can't stay healthy on it.
A contender has made a move.
Who?
The Denver Nuggets are trading Reggie Jackson to Charlotte for 3 unprotected second-round picks.
Oh yeah.
That sounds to me like they're clearing up space to keep KCP and not be in the second apron, but we'll see.
We'll see. Okay, interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
Well, that's the end of that listing. That was one of the best rankings you've done so far. One of the least controversial.
Super fun.
People were very mad at my last ranking where I did the top 10 redraft of 2023 because I didn't put Jaime Jaquez top 10.
Or Keontae George.
I don't give as much fuck about that. But they also were mad
You
about
should.
Podziemski. Podziemski was my number 11. I only didn't go 10 because of fit with the Mavericks. People think Jaime Jaquez is like 19 or something, like he's going to be the superstar. People were crazy about him.
Dude, he's gonna be in his prime in like 2 years.
He's in his prime.
Okay, that's it.
He's a good player, but if he's 12, that's fine. It's completely
Yeah.
fine. But okay, one more segment, and that is Donovan. I believe you have some embarrassing moments for us to talk about.
Yes, listen. I'm gonna list off these embarrassing moments. I want you to rate them 1 through 10,
Okay.
Okay.
Based on how embarrassing they are?
based on how embarrassing they are.
Okay.
First one. The Los Angeles Lakers fans yelling no at Russell Westbrook
Oh.
when he got the ball in the corner. Just
10. I feel so much residual shame thinking about this as a Lakers fan. Anything that makes you remember the Russell Westbrook era is just PTSD. I don't mention that again.
I've never seen a home fan base yell at their player that,
La la
that
la
way.
la 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 la.
That's a 10 out of 10 embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That talk about a way to shatter a player's confidence. That right there would do it.
Yeah, it's also embarrassing for the fans. Like, why would you do that? That's so counterproductive.
Yeah, it doesn't help in any way at all, bro. And he actually didn't shoot the ball, right? He just passed it along.
No, he shot it and he missed.
Naturally. As he's one to do.
Damn.
It's a bad time for
Hence
us.
the nose.
It's a bad time for us. He's in a much better place now. All right, second up. J.R. Smith leaving the bench to go dap up Jason Terry, only to have his man score a bucket on him.
I feel inclined to say 10, but it's J.R. Smith, and we give J.R. Smith the tax because he's hilarious. So I'm gonna go 8 because I can never hate on J.R. Smith too hard.
No, this is a 9 to me because he's clearly went ahead and built up a fantastic resume of just funny, embarrassing moments that you didn't think was humanly possible. But he finds a way, and this is why he's one of my GOATs.
As soon as you think J.R. Smith is as aloof as he's ever been, he finds a way to be more aloof.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Aloof squared.
Constantly.
True. I like that. All right, Spencer Dinwiddie playing so bad that Streets was saying he was on strike.
Oh my God, I forgot about this. This was hilarious. They said he was on a hunger strike, but on the court because he wanted to be traded.
Hunger strike. This is when
He was legitimately trying his best, and they're like, he is sabotaging us.
Was this with the Nets?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
And the funny
man.
part is it's not true. People just assume so because he was playing so below his expectations.
Didn't he ask for his contract to be in like cryptocurrency?
He did. That's the embarrassing part.
Yeah, that's right there. That should be on this list. That should be on this list for sure.
I'll go a 5 for this one. It's not too bad because it wasn't true, but it's a hilarious thing that we could even assume could be possible.
Spencer Dinwiddie, man. He used to be really good.
He's still decent. He's not terrible.
What did he do for the Lakers?
Defended. Cardio.
He was a ball handler.
More cardio.
He threw the ball into AD.
Yeah.
It got to point B.
Yeah, nothing else happened. But
No advantage was created, but the ball got there.
Next one. Denzel Valentine thinking that he was the MVP of the league, taking a 3-quarter shot to win the game.
0. This is not embarrassing. I respect it. I respect it.
Respect?
I respect Denzel Valentine.
Confidence.
Confidence. Be the man you want to be. Speak it into existence. Take those shots. You miss
Yeah.
every shot you don't take, especially half-court buzzer beaters.
Now, with that being said, you will be cemented in NBA history for all of the wrong reasons. You are one of the most popular memes in specific contexts, bro. And it's hard to go ahead and do that. And he
The
achieved
best
that.
shooters of all time make the 3 less than half the time.
I don't
Take
know
the
if I
shot.
want to say 10 or 0. I'm lost.
That's terrible. That shot is not respectable at all. Next one. RJ Barrett being the definition of mid. Carmelo Anthony called him bland, said he's either going to score 4 or 26. The next 2 games after he did that, RJ scored 4 and 24.
And didn't he admit to it? Was he
Yeah.
like, damn?
Like,
Maybe he was
he's
right.
You got me. Listen, when they're right, you got to give it to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna list this a 0 though, because hey, he owned up to it.
That sounds like consistency to me, and that's what I want in my locker room. I want a guy who I'm going to know what I get from him, even if it's not good half the time.
Exactly.
You can never say RJ Barrett surprised you.
Next one up. DeAndre Ayton setting fake screens and just getting clowned for it. That's it. That's all I think about whenever I see
He
that
is the
name.
definition
Just
of
standing
looking
there.
busy at work.
He's at home working remote. He just wiggles his mouse around every 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Bro.
I'm going to say this is an 8, but it's more embarrassing for the Trailblazers because they played such unserious basketball that if you were a Trailblazers fan last year, secondhand embarrassment all year. It was a horrendous product.
I'm just envisioning it happening right now, bro. Just, like the cameras are all around you. There are fans watching you as well, bro.
He was out there just protecting himself from a nut check. That's all he was doing.
This is a 9, bro.
All right, we got the Brooklyn Nets trading all their picks for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, only for those picks to be Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
12. This is the most embarrassing move in NBA history. This
Yeah.
led to a title last year for the team nobody wants to see win. Generational embarrassment. Like if I who was the GM at the time? It was the one that works at ESPN now.
Bobby Marks.
If I was Bobby Marks, I probably wouldn't work in media anymore. I would just give up in basketball.
They bring it up every time the Nets are doing stuff. They're like, you remember that time that Bobby messed up? That's crazy.
Yeah, this is easily a 12.
You know they got your man. One of the worst trade of all time. The man was trading with the Celtics.
That's your man.
We got Kevin Durant making Daniel Gafford do the splits after crossing him over.
Ooh. Yeah, this is when Daniel Gafford was in the Washington Wizards. And not gonna lie, the pictures and the angles, whatever photographer was assigned to this moment right here was in
Booty
their
all
bag.
up in the air.
Oh God, it looked like a hard ass album cover to me. This is a 10. This is tough.
There you go. I'll go with him. That's a 10.
We have the entire FX series about the Los Angeles Clippers.
This show, the whole point of the show is to just like shame them and embarrass them. It's like we're purposely embarrassing them on national media. It's hilarious.
Not gonna lie, what makes this even worse is seeing how off the
Yes.
characters look.
The most embarrassing part
Yeah.
is the Blake Griffin casting. Why does he look Dominican? Why did he do this to Blake Griffin? That looks zero like Blake Griffin.
Bro, Chris Paul looks like every black dude with a fade. Just looks like a random guy.
It looks like him. They casted
you
Donovan
could have
as
been
Chris Paul.
casted, bro. Exactly.
Oh, man.
10 out of 10.
All right, last one. I have to show you guys this, and we will show you guys in post.
Yeah.
Jordan Poole. The Jordan Poole experience.
Oh, I think I know what this is. This is where he slips and falls.
It's a 360 layup, and it's not loading.
All right, well, sit down because we got to do the camera angles
know.
right for the TikTok. So sit down.
Hold on.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So yeah, Jordan Poole.
You could have shown me any play from the 2024 Washington Wizards that involved Jordan Poole, and I would have said 10.
I hate talking about Jordan Poole now.
R.I.P. man.
Not RIP, but
I mean,
I'm gonna give this a 5.
why? That's a 10. That's a 10.
He had a plan and he had a vision. He just couldn't go ahead and
I just need the platform.
exactly. He just needed the platform, and it was given to him. But
Where'd that vision go? Make out cataracts.
Draymond knocked it out of him. Don't have it no
That's a
more.
10. That's a horrible play.
That's it. That's all I got for you.
And that's all we have for you for the show. This is the end of the episode. If people are still here, what should they comment?
Dap up Mo. Don't leave me hanging.
There you go. And go check out the Crayon Eater merch. Make sure you like and subscribe. And we're done here. We'll see y'all later.